As the leader of the Booner Pack, I lead from the front.
All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the f*** up, boys.
It's pumping right now. It's got my juice pumping, boys.
Welcome to Crunch Time Sports with Jeff and Booner. We are back after 2 shows off. We're back in the mix. It's Friday. We got Lions Bears this weekend, which, again, we will be on the road. We'll be at Dog and Pony Show Brewing on Sunday in Oak Park to do our watch party. Not our final watch party, but our final Lions up.
Your mic is for sure going through your computer. But welcome in, everybody. Crunch Time Sports.
You were right. We are back.
Friday, January 2nd. Happy
2nd,
New Year,
Friday.
2026.
Yeah. That's
Jeff,
on me.
good start to the year.
Yeah, it's 2 days off. That's what happens. But we are back. Appreciate you all for tuning in. Like I said, Sunday we'll be doing our final Lions watch party of the season. That'll be at Dog and Pony Show Brewing in Oak Park. Shout out to Kyle for letting us come out there again. We were there.
Great place.
Yeah, it was a great turnout. So if you make the drive, come hang out with the fellas.
No free ads. So the beer and everything there is unbelievable. 2 doors down too, we got the pizza there and we brought it over. You can obviously get some food and bring it in there. Unbelievable as well.
Yeah, they have food options. They don't have food at the brewery, but he has a food truck outside with a bunch of different options. And It's delicious. They have the food place next door. It's a great spot. Watch games. So we'll be there Sunday. Come hang out with us. It'll be a good time. Today we're gonna have it's gonna be a great show. We have a lot of stuff to kind of catch up on. Kelvin Shepard spoke to the media, which was a big thing. That was yesterday. So we'll get to kind of give our thoughts on that. He was asked about, which, by the way, shout out to the doc. The doc asked the tough question. He
answered it too. He didn't ignore the doc, nothing. He straight up just said this is what it is.
Straight up answered it. So we'll get the response from Kelvin. We'll get to that later. We got Kory Woods joining. We got Caleb in the second hour. We got NFL Pick'em. We'll give our thoughts on Lions Bears. So packed show today. I hope everyone had a great New Year. I mean, we're in 2026. We're going on almost 2 years here at Crunch Time Sports, and we're like 20 subs away from 16,000 subscribers. We're kind of approaching our way to 10 million views on YouTube in almost 2 years.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the tweet up tomorrow or put the thing up. Even just last year, we have not posted it yet, but 2025, dude, we did 200 million impressions over all platforms. Like, that's incredible. That's not even just like, that's just support from people that tune into us. That's YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Sorry, X, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, like all that, like 200 million. I texted the boys the other day. It's like a 20-something% increase from our first year. So we're growing. But over 200 million people seeing the Crunch Time Sports logo, like that's, I think, putting that into perspective. That's just insane. Like, I know you said like impressions like on YouTube isn't views total, but
our content has been
seeing, someone seeing that Crunch Time logo. Like, I think that's the coolest thing of all time.
Yes.
So I think it's unbelievable, man. 200 million. In my life, I would have never thought that 200 million people in my lifetime would see me. And we did it in 1 year. Like, that's incredible, dude.
Yeah, the people have been super supportive. I mean, even the last month, we had a great month. This month on everything. I mean, it's been awesome. So we're gonna kind of parlay that, just take that into the 2026. Even the Lions are missing the playoffs, man. It's gonna be
Shout out Combat, man. That's unbelievable.
His OnlyFans would do.
Dude, that's so funny, man.
Well, I can't wait. I mean, even though they're missing the playoffs,
it's weird, dude. We've had people. Dude, we've had people, by the way, who have like I've talked to who are like, oh man, it sucks they're not in the playoffs. Like, you guys must be like, views must be down, or people don't like, it's probably tough doing content. Like, it's almost, I hate to say it, like, obviously we want them to win and we want to be in the playoffs and winning. But when the Lions are losing, man, it's almost like even higher views and more people want to listen, because I think a lot of people want to find answers and figure out what's going on. And a lot of people have their own opinions, man. So even like this Sunday, man, Lions Bears, our watch party. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of people there and a lot of people watching because,
Yeah, people. It's always the thing when the Lions are winning, people want to share that with somebody, and when they're losing, they want to know why. they want answers, and I don't blame fans. It's frustrating. And there's so many things the next week, think about the next week for us. All right, what we're going to be covering. So we have Lions Bears this weekend. And then next week, Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell do their kind of end of season press conferences. Like, that is going to be an amazing week next week. We have another great week next week. And then the next week, we're recapping that. And then we start getting ready and reacting to the playoffs, start getting ready for kind of the draft, free agency, the offseason, what that entails. We're going to have some great guests on. Like the next, the rest, even going into the offseason and covering the offseason, still going to be a lot of fun. And maybe not as fun as it would be if they were in the playoffs, obviously, but it'll still be a ton of things I can't wait for Brad's press conference. I think he would probably speak. At least that's what I was told, next Thursday.
Yeah. I've heard next week.
Usually, remember, he does it early, maybe like 9 a.m. He does it usually pretty early, like early on Thursday. So
I need to get that date and time, make sure I'm off work, make sure I'm ready to go, because that's going to be it's going to be huge.
I want to know. I just want to see how many people tune into that live. There's going to be so many Lions fans watching that, just in general. So that'll be awesome to cover that.
Can we talk about this? I saw Gary just put it in the chat. He said, "Did you guys see the 5-year rule? So the doc texted us the 5-year rule?
Yeah,
I think he might have texted us on New Year's Eve. It might have been very late on New Year's Eve.
Yep.
So I'll just call a spade a spade. I don't think I was maybe fully aware enough to understand what the 5-year rule was when he texted us. That was at 12:33 yesterday. Never mind. I guess I'm not fully aware of this 5-year rule thing.
So
is this real?
It's a thing that's been talked about lately. So essentially, they're using this 5-year rule for different. It's not just the Lions. Like, they're using it with the Bengals with Zach Taylor. Basically, the 5-year rule is, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but this is what I looked into it a little bit, because Doc sent us the article. He sent us some stuff, and he was going off. It's basically a quarterback head coach duo that don't win a Super Bowl after the first 5 years. They don't win one. That's like, that's the theory. No NFL head coach and quarterback has won a Super Bowl after 5 years in the history of the Super Bowl era.
And what year are we on right now with Jared and Dan?
This is
currently
5.
So we're heading to 6.
Yes. So that's I hate that. That's like
if it said like once or twice it happened, I would be like, okay, cool. The never is really shaking me up a little bit.
Yeah, that's why either A, the team will get a new quarterback, or B, the team will get a new head coach. Like Josh Allen, Sean McDermott. Guess what's going to happen? They're going to fire Sean McDermott. You know what I'm saying? Because they've had time.
But Zach you can't get rid of Dan Campbell.
No, but people are saying Goff. Get rid of Goff. No. I don't know, but I
don't know, man.
See, me and you, this is for me and you, and this is where we've always had like our arguments about like data, and you're less on the data than probably I am, and some things I look too much into, for sure. Like, there's data points that
you love the data.
Yeah, and the data's not always correct, by the way, but there are certain things there where I think it's good to look at data to kind of look at history and see how things trend. To Gary's point in the chat, it would technically be history, and you would be the exception if you do that.
Do you like this? Do you like this one, or are you like this is a nothing?
I don't like this one. And the reason why I don't like this one, because there are some where you go at me and I'm like, okay, that's fair. The only reason I don't like this one is because when they use the words in the Super Bowl era, like there is so many years. That's a lot of examples. It's a lot. And I think there's reasons for that, right? Like, after 5 years, quarterbacks get more expensive, or your cap situation looks a lot differently. Like, there's probably some reasons that go into that, how long is a first round contract for a quarterback? It's 5 years, right? Then they get paid. Yeah. Now they're making top dollar, in the Lions case, now Jared's making more money. The other guys are getting paid. So it's not like you can say guys are on rookie deals, less guys are on that. So I don't know.
I think it makes sense. Like it is something that you have to build, but I am shocked. If I'm being honest, I'm shocked it's never happened before. Yeah, I really am. I'm very shocked, because it is weird, because I don't think the Lions, like with Jared Goff and Dan Campbell, are in like the worst spot ever. Like, do I think they can't win a Super Bowl the next few years? No, I still think they can. So I'm shocked there hasn't been more scenarios like this, or like even like Sean McDermott and Josh Allen, right? If they do it this year, they break it. You know what I mean? Like, so it happens. And there's like, I bet if you look around the league a little bit, there's a couple of these opportunities for a team to break it. It's just shocking it hasn't happened. I do think there is a lot of times though, Jeff, with those like situations, like you do got to think Tom Brady won 7 in like that span. Like there are some like just very teams who just kind of went on big runs and kind of took over. So yeah, it's a little slimmer of I don't know. I don't usually go into those types of things because I always think that history can be made. Like records are broken all the time. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I mean, they brought up a lot of like the all-time guys. Like I think the examples they brought up is like Bill Belichick, Mike McCarthy, Sean Payton, Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh, Pete Carroll. Those guys have won they won Super Bowls within the 5 years. And I think it's
what are they? A lot of those guys like what has John Harbaugh done since? Has he won another one?
Yeah, like that's why that's why they could both be fired. I mean, I don't know because it's been disappointing over the last like decade. I don't know. Whatever it has been. But it says, I think it says here the 31 head coaches, out of 31 head coaches to win a Super Bowl, 27 of them won their first championship within the first 5 seasons. And it says only Chuck Noll, John Madden, Tom Landry, and Bill Cowher needed more than 5 years to capture the ring. So there's a couple that did.
Shout out Bill Cowher, man.
But I think they're talking about head coaches. I don't think they were talking about the quarterback head coach thing. But still, I don't know. You could.
Can I address something in the chat, Jeff? Can I have permission here?
By the way, this is also I did mention this stat. It did end up being proved wrong this year. The Bears started 0-2 and made the playoffs.
There it is. Things happen. Listen, things break. History gets broken. Can I address something in the chat?
Yeah.
I just want to address I think it might have been Steve or someone said, Booner, you need to apologize for Doc. He's asking good questions at the press conference. You need to apologize for saying he has clickbait. 2 things can be true. Doc asked great questions at the press conference.
Great.
And also, fun fact, if you want to know this, and a Doc doesn't say this, but I'll say it. Jeff and I text the Doc questions to ask all the time at press conferences. And a lot of the moments that the Doc has had with some of these guys have probably come from questions that I have texted him.
Okay, we can't.
There have been some. I've texted Doc saying, "Hey, can you ask this?" And then there's been like, so if people want to, Booner, like, yeah, we know. I think Doc is one of the best reporters that the Lions beat has. Like Doc is incredible.
Yeah, he
asks questions that we ask, and he asked great questions like the one he did with Kelvin Shepard yesterday. That's true, but also it's true. Doc does have clickbait. Like, and he admits it. Like he's like on Twitter, there's nothing to click. That's clickbait though. And if someone put in the chat, clickbait is when you put a title and whatever's in the title is not in the. Do you want the definition of clickbait, Jeff? Content whose main purpose is to attract attention and encourage visitors to click on a link to a particular web page. That's what the Doc does. And he makes titles clickable. It's not a bad thing. It's not. And Guttaboy wants to taking credit for Doc's work. I'm not taking credit for any of Doc's work. What I'm saying is people say, hey, he's asking good questions. He also asks questions that Jeff and he hits us up and says, what do you want to know? We ask. So you're going to be like, he asked great. Some of these questions this year have been crunch time sports.
To be fair, only probably like how
no,
many?
I've gotten a lot from him. I've texted him separately sometimes. He knows it. I think the Doc does an incredible job, dude. I'm not taking credit away from him at all, dude. He is elite at what he does. I love the Doc. But don't say that, man. Like, don't tell me to. I'll never apologize to him for that. It's a fact. That man writes articles. He puts click-worthy titles on them, and I click. Whoa, that's crazy.
I read his work.
That's called clickbait, and it's not always a bad thing. We do it on your YouTube. Sorry, Jeff. We do. I do it on our Twitter.
Yeah,
sorry.
Everybody does it. It's part of the game. I mean, I will never put a title that's misinformation completely.
No,
that's where it's
I just read the exact definition of clickbait. It's putting a title.
It's not like I'm putting a title. It's like Jared Goff getting traded, and we just talk about Jared Goff's future. Like I'm not that bad. We don't have those titles on our YouTube. We've never done that because I think that's ridiculous. Like I'm not going to put on there something ridiculous. But yeah, I do have to entice something. I mean, you got to click on the video.
It's part of the game, man. Sorry,
but hey, before
don't get mad, Doc, about the clickbait. It's a fact. It's a good thing.
we got some super chats I want to read too. Joe P, appreciate, he donated right before the show. I mean, this is at 7:00, so he donated 40 minutes or so before. He says, I can't listen live today, but can you address Goff playing with potentially 2 new offensive tackles on Sunday and how potentially stupid that is? Happy New Year's. Well, Joe, I will mention it because we're going to play a Dan Campbell clip, but I do actually want to ask you that. I want to get your thoughts on that. To answer Joe's question, I think it's stupid. A, I've already stated that, but B, and I'll go into that in a second. Dan Campbell was asked, and another great question. I can't remember who it was. Might have been Dave Burkett. I can't remember, but he shut down Goff not playing. He said, "Well, I think the question was essentially like, does not having Panay and Taylor, does that maybe factor into Goff playing? No, it doesn't. Goff's playing." I don't know if that's. I mean, think about it, right? And I'm not saying this will happen, but Booner, the chance of this man getting hurt in a meaningless game without his both his offensive tackles and in a shitty O-line, it's not that crazy. Okay?
You want my opinion on it?
Yeah, because I think he shouldn't play, and if he gets hurt, I think
if you're healthy at all, you play football. You play football. Now he's been dealing with something, I think. He hasn't been dealing with anything crazy. Like it's like the same thing with Panay. It's like, well, Panay. Like Panay's dealing with a legit ankle injury. It's like Panay, sit. But like Goff, dude, you're healthy, play. I don't think it's that like I think it's crazier, if I'm just being honest. In my opinion, this is my opinion, Jeff. I think it's crazier for people to think that some of these guys who are fully healthy, that they all should just sit because you're out of the playoffs. Like, think about how many of the teams over the last 5 or 6 weeks have been eliminated from the playoffs. Their best players aren't just sitting out. Like, they're not just like, the only time you ever see starters sit is if you have something to play for in the playoffs and you've locked in your seating. When was the last, I don't know. In my mind,
they locked in their seating.
They did, but what I'm saying is when teams don't make the playoffs, you don't typically see like, I mean, Max Crosby got shut down. I still think that's stupid. Like, why would you not let him? If he wants to play, let him play. And I think there's like, and in my mind, there's probably incentives for Jared Goff. He probably wants to help. And he actually brought this up. He wants to help some of these other guys that are going to be free agents put on some film for the last game. And it's like, what are you going to do? Sit there and let Kyle Allen go out there and you're just going to let them go get rolled? Like, I don't know. I don't think it's that crazy, to be honest. I think it's fine for him to play.
I could see from like a player's perspective. I think from looking at it, just like I try to look at it, not because players want to play.
Start all 20, or do you sit all 22 starters?
No. They shouldn't start.
Like, who plays then?
I would bench the $50+ million quarterback. That you need. I would bench him. Everyone else,
if he wants to play,
you can play Amon Ra, you can play, all these guys. But Jared, he is the heartbeat. God forbid this guy gets destroyed on Sunday because you have no O lineman.
Yeah, I guess
in a meaningless game, he gets like a knee injury, he gets broken arm or something. Everyone's just, dude, you're gonna look like a jackass in a meaningless football game. I mean, I don't know. I could see what you're saying. I think I can see like the player's perspective. If you're healthy, play. I get that. And Jared will never say I don't want to play, but I think that's Dan's got to come and be like, hey, Jared.
As a competitor, I would just be like, I'm playing. It's like what Max Crosby. Yeah. They shut him down. He actually,
to be honest, I think it's good for the Raiders. I wouldn't play him either. You're out of your done.
But why not? Like, so you should have not played him for the last 6 weeks because he could have got hurt.
Last game or like.
But either way, what's the difference from the last game to 5 games ago when they were eliminated?
Because at this point,
nothing.
One game left.
Nothing. But you could have got hurt in the last 5 games if you're Max Crosby.
Yeah, I don't think you should sit a guy for 6-7 games. But the last game of the year, it's like, bro, the fate's already sealed. Yeah, I get it, but I'm just saying one game. I'd be like, all right, shut him down. That's how I would handle it. Because
I don't know. I think I'm out. I think I'm fine with him playing. Obviously, if he gets hurt, I'm not going to be fine with it. I'm going to change my tune really quick.
Well, that's the risk for Dan. It's like, but what does Dan say if Jared does get hurt? It's like you got to just stand on it and be like, well, we want him to play.
Right, we're a tough, gritty group, man. You play football, dude, part of the game.
Fans are going to be, dude. I mean, they would want his head.
The fans can't. You know what? There's like a lot of fans. You can't even be mad at. Majority of these fans don't want Jared Goff. Don't even act like you do if he gets hurt.
Well, the players that hate him will probably, or the people that hate him will probably, they'll probably throw, they'll have their pom-poms and be cheering. But most people that are level-headed should probably just be pissed if he gets hurt. But it's football.
Should Hutch sit too?
Anything? No, he's no. I mean, Hutch, dude. No,
you paid him $40 million.
No, but it's different because Hutch quarterback.
That one's different. Yeah, that's different. You're
Because,
$40
yeah,
million
Jared's a
player.
quarterback and he gets protected by an offensive line. What is Aiden? Aiden just goes and you just go play. You know, like, I mean, I get Max Crosby, but Max Crosby's the Raiders franchise. You know what I'm saying? Like here in Detroit, Jared Goff is essentially your franchise. If he gets hurt, you're boned. You know, you're boned. And Hutch is coming off an injury, like he needs the reps. He hasn't looked like defensive player of the year Hutch. He needs to play. Okay. He needs to play. I'm just saying, maybe if you want to argue he should sit, I'll listen, but I would play everyone but Goff.
I would just play everyone, man. If you're healthy, play. Just play. Panay's been beat up all year. I don't mind him sitting. Aleem out. Dude, we posted that Aleem was out in the comment section. Was one of the people are like, he's been out all year anyways. I was like,
yeah, like Aleem, you're like, I don't care. He's getting paid all that money. Like he needs to play. Like,
but he's out though. He's like actually hurt. They announced he's out today. Did you see the out? Did you see who's out?
No, I have it here. I can put it on screen.
Panay's out. There's a couple big ones.
By the way, nobody appreciate the fives. It's kind of crazy that this is it. Feel dirty not being in the playoffs. Well, it's crazy how Lions fans like now it's dirty. They're not in the playoffs. That's what I love. It's like this is what you should love. It's higher expectations, man. Most people will be like, "Well, we made it. We made the playoffs 2 years. We should be thankful and be optimistic." And you guys know how bad it was before they got here. No. You should be angry and pissed off they're not in the playoffs. Okay.
Can after we do the practice report and the injury report for the game, can I ask you a question? I have 2 questions for you. Can we audible? I have 2 questions for you about the Lions and Bears.
Okay.
They're tough questions. After the injury report.
Okay, I'll play.
This actually might be a long conversation.
This is a big ass list. I mean,
wow.
I didn't. This is the first
Anzo.
time. So Anzo, I feel that's tough. He's out for his last game. His last game in Detroit.
So his last game was last week with the Lions. No one knew. No, we just had no clue.
Yeah, that's tough. Tristan Colon out. Thomas Harper out. Lee McNeil out. Penei Sewell out. Yodi questionable. Like Decker, I'm not playing Decker, bro. There's no that guy's been he is so injured. But they might play him. Who knows? But Decker's questionable. Mahogany questionable. He'll play probably. Giovanni. Dan said he doesn't see him playing. So maybe that means Decker will play. I don't know. Amon-Ra St. Brown questionable, and then Avonte Maddox at this point, he's probably gonna be fine. He full practice. And then the Bears have let's see, Joe Tryon, the edge, he's out, but everyone else is questionable or playing. So I don't know. Roma Dunze could play. He's been out, but he had a
questionable. No.
Yeah, he had a limited practice on Friday? So
yeah. I can't believe too, like Anzo, like he's just potentially not with the Lions anymore. That's crazy. Same with like Taylor Decker. I think Taylor plays because I think if you watch, I don't know if you watched Taylor's interview this week. He said, well, he straight up just, for people who didn't see it, if you're watching us, he straight up just said, he was just like, I'm going to consider retirement. Like when the season's over, I'm going to take time and I'm going to go over all the options and I'm going to make a decision. But he was like, he said that's the first time in his career he's going to go into an offseason and actually consider retiring. I hope, I hope he just gets it, like make the decision sooner rather than later. So you don't get into a Frank Ragnow situation.
Just make it. Yeah. If you're going to, just
I understand it's a big decision, tough decision. You want to be able to do it the right way and you don't want to make the decision on an emotion, but couple weeks, make the decision before at least before the combine, so they know if they have to start considering, watching certain tackles in the combine, which they already should be, in my opinion. But
the reality is, it is going to be a Frank situation because you're going to probably play a left tackle rookie. I mean, or right tackle.
Right tackle. Yeah.
So it's like, even though that's
vet.
why, like Giovanni. I mean, Brad tried with Giovanni to get someone to replace Decker. It just failed. So you're gonna probably be in a similar like Ratledge where you got thrown in as a rookie. Like you're gonna be in that same thing this year with probably Panay at your left, and then you have a rookie right. They better not start a rookie left tackle. Just move your best tackle to your left. I mean, that would be another mind-boggling move. That would make no sense. But we're not there yet. There's plenty of time. But I will melt down.
I'll tell you what, we're gonna be at the combine, Jeff. We will be dialed into offensive tackles.
We will be. Yeah. Tackles, hell, centers, ends, maybe a linebacker. I mean, we'll watch every single damn position. I mean, at this point. And even some would want to watch the quarterbacks. I'm just saying.
I watched quarterbacks last year. Who was my diamond in the rough at the combine last year? Do you want to tell the people?
Tyler Shuck.
Yeah, who's the best rookie quarterback this year? In the last 7 weeks, Tyler Shuck.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, you get to see things at the combine. You get to see these guys up close.
Had breakfast with them. Sat down. Had a good breakfast.
By the way, Blitzing Lion, appreciate the 2. He says, I would like to see Mekhi Wingo over Liam. I agree. What the hell's been happening with Mekhi Wingo? He's just not playing.
I don't know.
All year.
Liam's out, so maybe we do get a Mekhi sighting. But I kind of I like Mekhi. I think he has a lot of I thought he had a lot of talent and was going to have potential, but it feels like they just haven't given him the opportunity. And maybe that's because Tyreek, you know what I mean? And Roy Lopez has been so good.
Just the deep room, yeah.
Yeah, so he's essentially got pushed out just because of how deep of a room it was this year with the Liam, DJ Reader, Roy, and Tyreek.
Let's see. There's one more we got before we go on here. You can ask the question. Anakin, appreciate the 5. At this point, I'm not even going to bitch about playing starters because I have no control over it, and the players have made up their minds, their choice. Yeah, well, Dan Campbell has to say in it, but yeah, you know how he feels. He's a former player too, so he's probably looking at it a little differently. They're going to play guys. You can't bench everyone, obviously. They only have so many guys that can play. That's why, they asked when they asked him about Taylor Decker, Giovanni Manu. He's like, he's not playing. So they'll probably have some other. I don't know who the other tackle would be. I guess. Maybe Miles Frazier, I don't know, or the other guy. What's his name? That? Big dude. I don't know. That's where we're at this point in the season. I don't know any of these offensive linemen they're playing. So we'll have Kory join in about a minute. After Kory joins, you can ask me those tough questions.
Yeah, I got 2 good questions too.
And then we'll get to the Dan Campbell video, Kelvin Shepard video, because Dan talked about making some changes this offseason. Before Kory joins, though, got to tell you about our friends over at Sleeper. We'll see it in a minute. I've interrupted the video to tell you about our friends over at Sleeper, which is a proud sponsor of Crunch Time Sports, and specifically Sleeper Picks. You got Lions Bears this weekend for the Lions season finale. Not making the playoffs, but I still have the picks for you. Use that code CT Sports and get in on it today. My picks are very simple. I'm going with Caleb Williams over on the passing yards because do I have to really explain? I think he's going to throw for a lot of passing yards, as every quarterback does. DJ Moore over on his receiving yards. He's probably going to be the number 1 this week, and I think he's going to be a matchup problem with smaller corners. Over on Jahmyr Gibbs' rushing yards. The Bears are giving up over, 4.5 yards a carry, and then I'm going to go Gibbs over 0.5 TDs. I think he gets in today. Tail my picks, and shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring the video as always, and I will catch you guys on Sunday for our watch party. Let's by the way, coach just said Tesla's gonna go crazy this week. Yeah,
Amon-Ra's gonna play, right?
Yeah, Amon-Ra, J-Mo.
Oh, he doesn't.
I mean, he always gets touchdowns. I mean, he might get a touchdown, by the way. Devon Dice says Austin Booker increasing his sack totals. By the way, it's crazy how they sign an edge to play alongside Montez Sweat, by the way. He gets hurt, and guess what? Their rookie steps in, who they drafted and plays really well, Austin Booker, who I loved coming out of the draft, one of the Lions to get him. That's what happens when you have depth at edge. Things happen, or depth in general. Guys that come in and can impact the game. Just like their tackle for the Bears gets hurt in the middle of the year. Guess who comes in? A rookie tackle they drafted this year, and he plays well. Can you imagine that? Isn't that crazy? Oh, wow. All right, let's bring in Kory Woods, our good friend who covers the Detroit Lions for MLive.com. It's one of the best in the business. And I know Gary just asked Kory if he voted for Jack Campbell in the media award. By the way, Jack Campbell, man of the people.
I saw that today.
Yeah, he's one of the best, man. He's a pro's pro. And yeah, I honestly, I found out today that they give out a media award. I did not know that. And Jack Campbell, out of all the players, love Jared. He's passive aggressive a lot. He was never winning that award. There is no way Jared was winning that fucking thing.
I wonder who's like won it in the past, like who are former recipients.
Actually, that's what we can ask Kory. I feel like Jack would win it every year. I don't know who else would win it. Maybe Taylor.
Amon-Ra.
Amon-Ra is a good one.
Amon-Ra's good with the media. I feel like J-Mo could have won it one year.
Good with it too, yeah.
He's very good with the media.
Jared Goff.
Frank, didn't Frank used to be good with the media, or am I?
Yeah, he's probably the least interesting, but that's how you like your center, I guess. He doesn't really say
Yeah.
Jake, by the way, Jake said crazy concept referring to the depth of the Bears. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Hey, man, it's nuts. It's crazy. It's an insane concept.
Yeah.
We did talk about Austin Booker a lot during the draft, the combine, all of that.
Sack a game the last like 4 games. I mean, he's balling.
Yeah.
He's playing well. And by the way, I've given Ryan Poles a lot of shit. And this past draft class, I think he was under a lot of pressure because they fired Eberflus, kept him, and they brought in Ben, and he had a pretty good draft this year. So finally, I mean, he's had some weird picks. So
yeah, I said the Chicago or the Bears would never win until they fired Ryan Poles. That was my statement. And boy, was I wrong.
For a bit there, though, it didn't look great. I mean, for Ryan Poles, I'll just say it didn't look very great for Ryan Poles. But he found like Kyle Monunga in the 7th round. I mean, he stepped it up.
He had a good draft this year. He found a couple guys that instantly, or maybe honestly, maybe he has found some guys in the past. They just didn't have the right staff in position. I think that's also a big thing. I actually bring that up all the time during draft season when we had these conversations. I think like there are guys who are drafted that have an immense talent, but depending on where you get drafted to, what's the staff like? What's the
situation?
Situation. And I've preached that for a couple of years now covering the draft, that when you get drafted to a specific place, and that's why I felt like so many rookies were doing so well in Detroit, because one, they were getting opportunities because they were rebuilding a roster. So they're getting the snaps and opportunities, but two, they have the right culture and situation around them here in Detroit. The last few drafts obviously haven't worked out in that way because I think they approached it a different way to rebuild or to what is the word? Develop.
Yep.
To where before they weren't developing, they were just throwing guys in the fire. I think that works. And I think when you have a culture like this, and that's what Chicago with Ben's essentially, he's throwing guys in the fire. Austin Booker, go ahead. Kyle Monunga, boom, you're good. Like throwing them in the fire, man.
Colston Loveland getting a lot of shit in Chicago. I just saw Dennis Allen. He's been getting shit lately in Chicago. I saw on Bears Twitter. They've been going at him. Yeah. I guess.
Who's turning out to, it's kind of turning the table a little bit. Klotz used to go at him a lot, but Colston Loveland, man, he's starting to look like a legit weapon for them. He's looking like that Sam Laporta type guy that Ben Johnson uses.
Yeah, he's a stud, man. They knew what they were doing. I mean, we kind of knew what he was at Michigan. I mean, he's basically a wide receiver. He's a big wide receiver. I mean, he's a weapon. He is. Let's bring on our friend Cory Woods. Like I said, covers of the Detroit Lions for MLive.com. Here to talk Lions football. Also, we'll ask him about that Jack Campbell Media Award, Cory. What the hell? So Jack Campbell, big media guy, great guy.
Yeah. So what happens is the Pro Football Writers of America, they have each chapter, each team, I guess you can say, chapters like teams or whatever. They have a good guy media award, and this year's winner was Jack Campbell. I mean, just from my personal experience with Jack, at first he was like a guy that really, didn't say that much. He was really reserved, but this season, I mean, Jack let it rip, and I mean in a good way. Like he was just a really good guy to talk to after games. In the locker room, he doesn't give fluff answers. Everything that he says is carefully thought out, and it has meaning. I mean, even when me and him did my 5-question segment that I do at MLive, it's a really harmless kind of segment where I just kind of ask guys 5 random questions just, to kind of get a response, have some fun with them. And not to say that Jack wasn't fun, but I mean, every answer he gave was just so thought out, so had meaning behind it. I'm like, damn, okay, this is like, you motivating me right now. Okay, damn, this is great stuff. So, I think it's well deserved. He's a guy that's definitely, I will never say he was standoffish, but he didn't really appear like a media guy at first, just a guy that just wanted to come in there and play football. But now he's still a guy that plays football, pretty damn good at it, but is also a great person to talk to.
Yeah, well, you mentioned him kind of finding his voice. It seems like he gets the green dot. He's kind of growing into himself a little bit. Anzalone, and I'll start with some of the guys that are free agents, because I like to kind of get your opinion on that. But Anzalone's out for the game against the Bears, and that's someone that, his future here in Detroit's in question. But not just him, but Amik Robertson, DJ Reader, They have some guys that are kind of coming off the books, and they have to make a decision whether they want to bring them back or not. To you, out of some of those guys that are free agents, I know even David Montgomery, even though he's not a free agent, but people question his kind of future. How many of those guys do you see back with the Lions? Because Dan hinted today at some change in the offseason, maybe not major change, but you could see some new faces. Do you expect some of those guys back, or do you think some of those guys might get replaced? Taylor Decker, you can kind of add in there as well.
So look, and if I miss anybody,
let me
know. Let me know. I'm gonna start with David Montgomery. Again, we know David Montgomery is under contract. We do know that, but my thing about David Montgomery is this: if the Lions do not invest in this offensive line and they do not take a real hard look at whether they really want to continue using both him and Jahmyr Gibbs with the split carries, then I think you should move on from Montgomery and try to seek a trade. Not because Montgomery does not have anything left in the tanker that he can't play, but just for the contract that's going to be starting for him, and just with him not really being an RB2 guy. This is a starter. So if you're splitting those carries evenly like you were, okay. But David Montgomery's a starter somewhere. So unless they figure it out on what they want and what their goal for the offense going to be in the future, if it's going to be more Gibbs heavy, like 70-30, I would trade him. If it's going to be somewhere still with that 50-50 or maybe a 60-40, I would keep him. If it's 60-40, get rid of him. It's going to be like 70-30, 80-20 Gibbs. So that's David Montgomery. Decker, it sounds like Decker has been hinting at retirement. I think he wanted to come back another year just because of the bad taste that was left in his mouth last year with how things went. With the way that he's been this season, there were some times where he was not even practicing. He was just suiting up for games. Remember Dan said something that really stuck out to me this season, diminishing returns on that shoulder. I think this could be Decker's last year, but even if they do bring Decker back for another season, if he does come back for another season, I think they need to look for his replacement in the draft. Amik Robertson, at first, with the way that he was playing last year, then a little bit to start this year, I thought he was playing himself out of Detroit, and I meant to a bigger contract somewhere else. Now I am kind of like he might be playing himself out of Detroit, where they could find a replacement or they could bring him back on a team discount. Because, I think he's a kind of guy that you could probably bring him back and he'll kind of figure things out. He's a good, I think he fits better as a depth piece maybe than in a starter role. Alex Anzalone, I think his time here is done. And that's not too far of his own. I just believe that it's Jack Campbell. This is his defense. Dan said that at the start of the year, and I think that's the way they're going to roll with that. DJ Reader, this is another guy. I think Reader might be gone. I believe that when they drafted Tyleik Williams last year, that they were kind of signaling that this was going to be potentially a DJ Reader replacement. So, I think he's kind of played himself out of there. He might look to go somewhere else so he can go ahead and go chase a ring, because who knows, maybe he doesn't, who knows how he feels.
Right.
I believe Al-Quadin Muhammad, I think he's gone.
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah.
I think he played his way out of Detroit for the best. Regardless of how people want to say how he got his sacks or whatever, this guy is in double-digit sacks. He's been playing great off the edge, and I just think that he just priced himself out of here. Somebody's going to throw him the bag to come out of to come to their defense and just rush the passer. So, if the Lions are able to keep him, I think that would be a plus. But I think he's played his way out of here. Levi, Marcus Davenport, I just don't think you can bring them back. You
could throw Josh in there too, Kory, right? Josh, I think too.
Josh Pascal. I don't think that you can run those three back at all, just because of the injury history. And I'm not saying that these guys should not get bags anywhere else. I'm not disrespecting them, but when you're talking about you really haven't seen much of Josh Pascal since you drafted him. Marcus Davenport, it just hasn't worked here. And Levi, again, just hasn't worked here because of the injury. So I think those are three guys that are definitely out the door.
And then Lopez got to come back, though. We could just say that.
I would definitely bring Roy Lopez.
Yeah.
Roy has earned himself a payday. I don't know how big it is. That's that's above my pay grade. But if you think you guys just asking me in my opinion, but bring Roy back. That's a football player. He's also another great guy to interview. He could very well be the media good guy next year because again, he's a guy that's just loves the program, loves the team, plays really hard nosed, and I think he could just be a really good depth piece.
Yeah, hey Cory, just kind of with a lot of those defensive pieces you talked about. Just yesterday, Kelvin Shepard spoke with the media, and he had brought up that there was going to be a lot of different schematical changes with the defense. What are your thoughts on the defense going into next year? How do you think, if there's not going to be a lot of scheme changes, how do you think they switch things up, whether it's personnel-wise or however they approach it? What are your thoughts there with those comments yesterday with Shep and moving forward with this defense into next year?
I'm not dodging your question. I'm just going to sidestep Shep's comments because I'm more into Dan's comments earlier this week where he was really non-committal on his staff. I mean, John Morton and Kelvin Shepard both, of course they both have to talk like they're here for next year because, they're still in the role. But Dan was non-committal when asked about his staff. And even after that loss to the Vikings, he said that there could be changes with coaches, there could be changes with players. And I just don't – I kind of want to table that one until after the season is over and see just how things change, if they do change with this staff, because who really knows right now? Because when, granted, they've had an alarming amount of injuries and, things happen, but just the inconsistency that they've played when they even had moderate health, and that's on both sides of the ball, that's just something that I believe they're going to go ahead and take a real look back and see, hey, are we doing things the right way? Because, again, Kelvin Shepard is basically running Aaron Glenn's offense, and you have to really sit back and think, okay, is Kelvin Shepard's running AG's defense? Is this the best defense for us to run long term? And if it is not, if we decide to go into a different direction, can we trust Kelvin to be adaptable to that and do something different? Same thing with John Morton. Dan Campbell took the play calling away from him. Do you go into the offseason and give him the play calling back, which I think would be really interesting after you stripped it from him? Do you give it back to him? Does Dan go? Do they keep things the same where John Morton, continues to get them ready throughout the week, and Dan has a whole offseason to really hone in as a play caller? I think that before we start talking about what kind of scheme or how they can look on either side of the ball, I want to see what happens or doesn't happen with the staff.
Well, let's approach it like they're both gone, Cory, just to get your thoughts on what Dan Campbell's approach will be. I think the interesting scenario is if Dan does fire John Morton and Kelvin, does he go more experienced? Does it, people, when you make mistakes, you tend to do the opposite. You date someone, you break up with them, you go get the complete opposite person. Does Dan maybe go anti-inexperience and go get someone who's more experienced? Or could you see maybe a scenario where, I don't know, maybe they promote from within again? I don't know. Could you see what's a feeling you get with this, Cory? Because I've heard Scotty Montgomery, Hank Fraley, or do you think it's like, hey man, it's time to go get two guys that have done this job for a while?
I think it's time I think it is time to go get some experienced names if they do decide to go that route. There is there's a lot of names out there that have we're Black Monday's coming up, so this is where it can get really fun and kind of see, okay, who's out there, who's available.
Right.
I know I've seen some scenarios where Mike McDaniel might lose his job with the Miami Dolphins, and I know some people are saying, I've seen some reports that if he loses his job with the Dolphins, he could be a favorite to be the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. But I'm thinking like this: would I rather be the head coach of the Cleveland Browns or be the offensive coordinator for the Lions, build my name back up, and then go get a job elsewhere? So, I mean, Mike McDaniel could be a name that could float around for offensive coordinator. I know people are talking about the dream scenario where they could potentially poach Brian Flores, where if to my knowledge, he has not inked his extension yet with the Vikings. No. And I don't know how you let him go into the offseason without getting that done and letting teams be able to talk to them. So I would expect that to get done quickly. But if not, I mean, hey, do they throw the bag at Brian Flores? Do you go back and revisit Larry Foote, who you reportedly were talking to before you promoted Kelvin? So it's a lot of possibilities out there for them to go in that direction. But I definitely think they need to get an experienced name to go ahead and just I don't want to say capitalize on this window, but I mean capitalize on the window.
Yeah, Kory, another thing I want to ask about going into this offseason, I know we still have the game Sunday, but I just want to get your thoughts. We've talked about it in the past with the offensive line and the approach to fixing the offensive line. Taylor Decker actually spoke and hinted at potentially thinking about retiring. How do you see them going about this? Jeff and I have brought up the last week or so moving Panay to left tackle, and them going and drafting a right tackle and fixing this interior. What do you think the approach for the Lions heading into this offseason and Brad will be with this offensive line?
I can see them going ahead and flipping Panay over there, or I'm just going on and grabbing somebody different. But regardless of whether Taylor comes back or not, I think that you need to go out in the draft, whether it's in the first round or the second round, and go get his successor. Because what you do not want to do is be in a position where you were with Frank Ragnow, where you could have drafted his successor last season, and you didn't. You were just holding out hope that Frank continued on, and he retires after the well has dried up. So don't play yourself and get caught slipping again like that. This is not the time for that.
And then my last question for you, Kory, what do you think about them playing starters on Sunday? What side, just a personal opinion? Me and Booner kind of talked about it. Booner's on the side of, kind of like a player, how they think, if you're healthy, you should be able to play. I was kind of pushing back, and I said, God forbid Jared Goff, your $50 million quarterback, gets injured in a meaningless game with no O-line. I'd be pretty pissed, Kory. But from your perspective, you covered the team, seen a lot of football here. What do you think of that decision to play in this game, in this spot?
Me and Ben talked about this on the podcast on Live Dungeons and Doom, and I believe if the Lions were playing any other team besides Ben Johnson and the Chicago Bears, guys would be resting. This season is already ending is going to end on a note they don't want to. They at least want to go out there, finish with a winning season, just because they can finish with a winning season and beat Ben twice. That's the main reason I think that a lot of guys are playing. I don't think they will admit that. Who knows? I could very well be wrong, and it's just like they want to play for pride and because they just want to go ahead and fulfill their obligations. I mean, I think that's the kind of locker room we've had. They do have, but we've seen this script in 2022. They had nothing to play for against the Green Bay Packers. They were already out of the playoffs. But what did they want to do? They just wanted to spoil the party for the Packers. That was it. And they did that. I see this being somewhat of that same scenario.
Love it. Well, appreciate your stuff, Kory. Keep up the great work as always. You guys can follow Kory. Stay updated with the Lions offseason at Kory Woods. Kory, keep up the great work, my friend. We'll talk to you soon. Appreciate you.
All right, peace, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks, there you go. Kory Woods, our great friend, one of the best in the business, man. Talking ball with us. I want to hear your question. Okay, you got questions for me? We still got Dan Campbell and Kelvin. We have a
lot to talk about tonight.
So here, let me hear this, Boone.
It's a two-part question. So first one, I want to ask you this. It's about this is we're right now we're in like the topic of Chicago Bears, Detroit Lions, correct?
Yes.
These next two questions might, I don't know, they might hit a nerve and make fans think a little bit, but also might make fans mad. I don't know which way it's going to go. I want to ask you this. You have to choose one side or another. Are you ready?
I have a feeling about where this is going.
Who would you rather have long term, and who do you think is the better coach, Ben Johnson or Dan Campbell? I haven't heard anyone talk about this. It's Lions.
You're gonna. It's
Detroit. Listen, it's Detroit Lions versus Chicago's Bears week. we've had New Year's, so there haven't been as much media out there. A lot of the media has been stuck on, Brad Holmes, the line, all these different things. No one's actually talked about, at least I haven't seen, because I don't really watch as much around to keep my brain fresh a little bit. I haven't heard anyone actually had the conversation like Dan Campbell versus Ben Johnson. And Ben Johnson in year one has taken this team to win the NFC North. And when Ben Johnson leaves Detroit, the Detroit Lions fall off a little bit. Obviously, offensive line matters. Listen, I'm not going to answer. I'm going to let you answer it because this is a question from me to you. I think you know where my alliance lives. You know where I stand on this one. I'll answer it now. Give me Dan Campbell. But you specifically and people in the chat, I would love to hear who people think is a better head coach and who you would rather have long term.
Okay. Let me start by saying this. If you ask me who's a better head coach right now, you have to say Dan Campbell.
Okay.
You have to, because it's only been 1 year. Okay. And you can't say in 1 year he's accomplished everything Dan has and he's a better head coach. I think we can objectively, that should be most NFL fans. Okay. Then there's who I would rather have, which is I've been talking about just coaching, NFL coaching for a while. I've had the same opinion. So I can't go back on that now that we're getting into some uncomfortable conversations. I've always said, and you could back me up on this, I always prefer an offensive play calling head coach. I've always preferred that. I think that's the ultimate advantage in the NFL. Number one, it's an offensive league. But number two, if you have an offensive play caller who's very good at what he does, you just have a massive advantage. He can never be hired away. You don't have to worry about your OC leaving. Your offense you never have to worry about your offense. So in today's NFL, what I see with other teams and teams having success, I would take the offensive play calling head coach.
So that's for the future, if you say you're Brad Holmes right now and there's an extension, you can either Dan's contract's up, and then Ben he calls you because he knows, hey, maybe Dan's contract's up. That extension didn't go through from last year, and Ben calls and says, hey, I want to come to Detroit, be a head coach. What do you think? You're picking Ben over Dan? Wow, I'm taking Dan Campbell. I
would, and I don't want that to sound like I think Dan is a bad coach. I think he's a good coach. I just think where the league is and what all my opinion has always been about coaching, I'll take the offensive play calling head coach.
Wow.
And I know, Dan, I think here, let's this is where I want to make sure I hammer too. Dan Campbell came to the Lions and they needed a culture shot.
I can't believe this.
They needed someone to change the culture in Detroit. And he did that. And when Ben left, people thought, well, he can't lead men. He's not going to be able to change the culture. Think about what Ben walked into in Chicago. Terrible culture. They've never had a 4,000-yard passer. They've never gotten the quarterback right.
Still don't.
We'll see. He might pass for 4,000. He's like 280 though. I don't know if he gets that. But anyway,
did you see the back and forth?
Yeah, because Ben doesn't really care at all. But
all right. Can I ask, are you done with that answering that one?
But I want to finish by saying Ben went to Chicago, changed the culture. So I think we got to give Ben more credit for what he did going to Chicago. I'll take Ben if it's going to offend a lot of people because we're talking about the Detroit Lions. But if it's Jeff's NFL team and I get to pick, I'm picking the offensive guy. I'm picking Ben Johnson.
Over who?
Dan Campbell.
I want you to hear that full statement.
If I'm running an organization and I have no head coach and I get to choose, I would hire Ben Johnson over Dan Campbell.
Thank you. I just want that clip for later. I'm going to clip it, take the audio.
You can call me an idiot. It's just
I just wanted that straight through with no gaps.
But I'm consistent. I've always said that. Said that.
Second question that rolls in with this.
Yep.
This is a similar question. What team and organization are you more confident in and do you think is better long-term wise over the next few seasons? I'm not just saying this year because obviously the Bears are in the playoffs. Long-term wise, when you talk about front office, when you talk about players, staff, all of the above, when you're like, hey, I want to be in that organization, the Detroit Lions or the Chicago Bears moving forward?
I think the most important thing when you're thinking about an organization is who's building it. And I still think Brad is better than Ryan Poles. I think Brad is a better GM. So I think the Lions are in a better position. The only thing you can say, in my opinion, about the Bears is they have Caleb's rookie deal. So they have a bunch of money, which is valuable. Don't get me wrong. It's very valuable to have a lot of money available, but it doesn't matter if you don't know what to do with it, right? So
Yep.
I would still say the Lions because I think they have a better top down kind of setup, in my opinion, than the Bears.
All right.
That's just because Ryan Poles, I still am not like, oh, this guy's going to lead him to a Super. I just don't think.
I do think there is a world right now, and this is what life. I think it's like this in life in general, but especially obviously in sports, and especially when you look in the NFL, there's a lot of like recency bias when things like I don't think Ben or Brad's been great like the last 2 drafts, and I think obviously he's fumbled this year. But I do think like with that happening, a lot of people do forget what Brad has done. Do you know what I'm saying? Like. So he still has that in his bag. Like his overall product is probably better by a million than Ryan Poles. Even though
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like I think people, just because the Bears are now in the playoffs and the Lions aren't, a lot of people look at that and they go like recency bias. Oh, the Ryan Poles over Brad. There's no way though. You can't do that.
Yeah. That's where I'm not gonna Bears. Like, no, the Lions are. We're just talking about the coaching perspective, but organizationally, yes, I'm with you. I think Brad. Although we go at him, rightfully so, for some of the things that frustrate us, you can't deny he's a better I mean, we've had conversations, Brad being, in the top 5 at one point, top 10. Like Ryan Poles has never been considered, even had that conversation. I mean, like, people can say, well, he's not there right now. He hasn't done it. Okay, fine. But Ryan Poles we've never talked about Ryan Poles as one of the top 10 GMs in football. So, yeah. I mean, think about it like this, Boone. Some of the great head coaches that have won Super Bowls, great quarterbacks, they've always had great GMs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, Chicago might have Ben Johnson, who I think I've always thought he would be, but it still is a very good head coach and will be. And Caleb might be really good. But if Ryan Poles is not a great GM consistently, then they're screwed. I mean, it's just how it works. I mean, the John Lynch with the 49ers, they got into Super Bowls. John Lynch is great. Howie Roseman, Les Snead, Brad Veach. Like, you need a good GM, bro. Like, that's why the Lions, I think, like, as much as we go at Brad, he is a good GM. He just makes he does some stupid stuff sometimes that frustrate me, but he's done a really good job, especially his first couple of years. Lately, he's been a little frustrating, but I'll give him that. I'll give the Lions that.
Were those 2 fair questions?
Yes, fair questions. I probably, people, how could you pick Ben? Guys, it's just always been what I believe. I've always said it.
I think that's fair for you. I would rather, again, I want to clear it up. I would rather have Dan Campbell than Ben Johnson. I like
I'm not saying you're stupid for it.
I mean, you know me, like me and you are a little different. You're low key. I don't even want to say you're
low key, high key actually.
You like schematics and offensive stuff. Like that's how you are. I think it's very well known. I'm a big fan of the culture and like the grit of it and how they built it. I think Dan was a big reason. I know when we talk about, hey, who was like the main reason the Lions have found success, we do those conversations with Sheila and Brad and Dan, or players. The person that I always put number 1, and you know this, Jeff, I always say Dan Campbell. And I think it's because when you come in, like when Brad's wearing a grit shirt, Brad wasn't the one that came in and said, let's make these grit shirts. Dan came in and said, let's make these grit shirts. And I think I think it's organizational wise in any profession you're in. I think it starts with what is the culture like? And how do you, and then from there you build it within that culture. And I think Dan set that tone. And I value that over bringing in an offensive mind. Like I like a Ben Johnson, because and Ben's culture has been good, but where did he get that culture from? Where did he learn that?
Yeah, I will not deny being with Dan helped him.
I think and Dan obviously did not do a good job this offseason hiring, but I think if Dan hires correctly, which we've seen in the past, like he hired Ben Johnson. Like, and I know you're like, well, he was already there, but like he gave him the promotion to be the OC. Like he made that decision. So it's not that he can't do it. He just has to go out there and make that decision. Yeah. And if he gets it right, man, again, look at the last 3 years. Every single person in national media and any fan of the NFL knew that the Lions over that span had one of the best cultures and teams in sports in the world at that moment. And obviously a couple hires, wrong moves, that falls quick, but I still think that they can get back to it. That's why I would go Dan.
Well, think about it like this. Give Dan credit. Like look at Philadelphia. Nick Sirianni is like a CEO, head coach, or culture guy, whatever. He's gotten coordinators wrong. He's gotten coordinators right. It happens. But like, look at Philly this year. That locker room is a disaster. Like you've never had that concern with Dan Campbell. You've never once been like, these players, it's a disaster in there. Guys are fighting with each other. You know, they don't look like they're, you know, it's like, yeah, sometimes you're watching games this year, you're like, they just don't look as, you know, confident, or at least in, I don't know how to, the morale doesn't seem to be as high as it has been, but they still are bought in. I'm not saying the players checked out on Dan. I have never said that, and I have not seen that. But in Philly, sometimes it does feel that way. It's like some of these players just look like they're not happy in general, and they're not fighting. Like, you have AJ Brown and Jalen going at it. Jalen and his OC are going at it. You know, different guys are going at it. Dan's done a really good job with the culture, so I will. I do give him that.
I value that. I value that in sports. I value that in everything. So I would rather have the culture guy.
Yeah, and Dan did just have 2 coordinators get head coaching gigs, so it's not like the guy can't hire. It's just he just butchered. He just didn't do a good job. He has to just get it right now. It's like
he's missed a couple times too. Like, we'll call it spade a spade. Like, his first time through.
Yeah. Anthony Lynn didn't work out.
Second time he hit. Now third time he missed again, and it's fine. You're gonna shoot and miss, just like you said. Nick Sirianni, he's missed twice now as well, but he's also hit twice. Like, it's gonna happen. That's part of the league, right? You're not gonna always be successful. I mean, dude, even look at like with Belichick. I know people like Belichick, but like they had what's his name, Josh McDaniels there forever, and he just stayed, and they didn't have to replace when something was good. How long was he there for? Wasn't he there forever?
He was there for a while, and then he got hired by the Colts, and then he screwed them, went to the Broncos. I think they went 11-0 or something crazy, and then they flamed out, or they were 7-0, whatever. They flamed out. He got fired. He went back to New England, and then just got hired. Didn't he get hired again?
He's the Patriots OC. No, he's the Patriots OC. Well, he was the Raiders head coach. Got fired. Then Antonio Pierce took the job, got fired. But then now he's now. But I just think it's like when you find a guy,
he was there for a while. He was there. For a while.
But when you find a guy, like, you're gonna have success. But if a guy leaves, like, I'm like, look at the Patriots, man. Like, they had a period where they were bad, or not bad, but they just weren't, like, they didn't win Super Bowls. And that's just like, hey, it's hard to do some of these things. I think that's the point Dan's made actually in some of these press conferences. I heard him say it the other day, Jeff, where he was asked about the comments he made in the NFC Championship game, like, it's hard to get back here, and he kind of doubled down. I was like, man, this is a tough league. And I do think, like, yeah, the criticism is all fair, but I think he is right. Like, man, it's hard to get back. It really is. That's why I hate sometimes being on the side of Jared can win you a Super Bowl, because the odds of that actually happening are just so low. So it's like a guy like Doc, when he comes on, he's like, Jared will never win one with you. He's got like an 80% chance of being right. You know what I'm saying? Like, the odds are not in our favor for believing in some of these guys, because it's so hard to do that in this league. I was thinking about that the other day when I was texting the Doc about it, and I was just like, in my mind, I was just like, it's good for the Doc, because it's a hot take to have that they're not going to win it with Jared Goff and move on. And actually, like, he has like an 80% chance of being right, or even more.
The odds are actually against you saying they will win one.
Yeah, and so he's getting all these people that are like riled up with him, and also like he's going to end up being right potentially because he's got the better odds.
Now I want to play this clip of Dan, and then we'll get into the Kelvin Shepard stuff. Let me play this clip of Dan. It's a quick clip, and then I want to say something on Dan Campbell. But here's Dan Campbell. He spoke to the media, and he said something very interesting about the offseason. Let's take a listen.
There's always, as with everything, when it doesn't work the way that we want it to work, it's a number of things. You know, there's a lot of things that go into it, and do I have a couple of ideas maybe right now? But I need some time here. I need time to really sit down and think about all this, you know. But what we do know is one way or another, probably change is inevitable, you know. Now, it may not be much, but there will be something that'll change. There's
interesting. That's why when Kory answered the question, I was kind of with him, because I don't even want to believe anything Kelvin says when it comes to, like, because when you hear Kelvin speaking, let's say you never heard Dan this week or on 97.1 or even then, you're like, well, he does sound like he'll be back. No, man, listen to Dan. Like, Dan sounds more non-committal with his coordinators for sure. Like, John Morton was kind of like, I hope I'm back in any role. But Dan's like not willing to like tie his hat. He's not willing to tie his get tied down to any of these guys. He's like, I
told you.
Like, what do you think his ideas are right now? He's thinking of some stuff. He's probably already like,
for sure. Dude. I mean, I told you off air. Like, I think I brought it up. I think Dan's gonna actually like look. Like, I know a lot of people think, and yeah, I think there's a really good chance Shep's back. But I'm happy at least Dan's going to take a look at it, and he's going to consider.
Yeah.
Like,
and I don't know if he'll be. Maybe Dan just, I don't know. Maybe Dan just fired.
Because maybe, but in the past, like the last 2 off seasons with some of these guys, like especially like Brad, he's been so hard headed, and he's like, I'm doing it my way. Like I'm not going to take a look at like, oh, the edge spot, I got it. Don't worry. Like stop telling me. At least Dan's like, I'm evaluating everything, and I think that's the point of like missing the playoffs, where it's like we got to look at this. And him, honestly, just being Jeff, when he had those like when he was talking to the press conference about that stuff, it makes me feel a lot better, because you had your little source be like, there's a 90% chance Shep's back, and then like a day later, Dan's like, I'm taking a look at everything.
We're gonna see how right.
When asked about Shep,
we're gonna see. Yeah, we're gonna see, because I don't know. It feels like it could go either way. I don't think it's as high. I mean, I'm just playing the guessing game, just to feel from what Dan's saying. It could be wrong. Maybe he is back, but I'll say this. And you mentioned you were bringing up the point about Bill Belichick, and I'm not going at it because your take is right. I think where I'm at with Dan, and tell me if I'm off on this. I think with some of the great head coaches, you always knew that a side of the ball was going to be taken care of. And I think with Dan, I just want to see more. Like, Dan's an offensive guy. Yep. And they had, even though you look at the numbers, and I saw someone put in there like they're the number 1 offense, but like it didn't feel that way watching every week. We did a watch party every single week. It felt like there was times where you're scratching your head. I know the offensive line has to do with it. I'm not saying it's all on Dan, but going forward with the help of Brad getting a new offensive line and then figuring some stuff out, I just don't want to have any more issues going forward where you're like with Bill, you always knew the defense was going to be good, right? Like you knew with some coaches, you knew like some great coaches, Andy Reid, you always knew the offense was going to figure it out. I just want going forward, like Dan's really got to hammer that in and be like, we shouldn't be worrying as much about the offense like we are. And I know that's on Brad too. Brad's got to help him out. But like defense, okay, fine. That's not your side of the ball. But like offense, bro, we don't want to be having head scratching moments throughout the season. I think Dan learned a lot from a play calling perspective this year, for sure. He definitely learned a lot, and
I think one he learned, you have to hire the right guy. I think in hindsight, he probably looks back, and I think he tried to give the benefit of the doubt to John Morton, and just being like, hey, we'll bring someone in that knows this system. And like, I have this take. I think if Dan Campbell just at the beginning of the year said, I'm going to call plays from the jump after Ben left, I think it would have been different offensively, even with the offensive line the way it is than it was throughout the season.
It was only like 4 weeks.
What? No, they changed like the Commanders game, which was like week 9 or 10.
Oh, was it?
I believe so. Wasn't the Commanders?
Maybe it was like 9 weeks.
It was week
maybe.
It was week 10. So it was John Moore had 8 or 9 games and even a bye week to even try and figure this thing out. And like you look at like the third down or the third quarters with Dan, the struggling, the adjustments. Maybe those don't happen. Maybe those happen early in the season, and you adjust to those later in the season if Dan just called plays all year. And you know what I mean? Like that's what I kept telling you towards the end of this year. Like it's like Dan took over halfway through the year. He didn't have adjustment time. He didn't really have time to make mistakes because you're already in a little bit of a, you're already trying to fight for your playoff spot. And now he's taking it over, and now he's trying to claw back, and that's a tough spot to be in. So
where I'm frustrated with Dan is the David Montgomery stuff. Like you were there with David the last 2 years. You knew what. Yeah,
that's why it's frustrating. It really is.
It's like, why go away from the guy? I don't like. And even when you use him, it's like they used him a little bit. Was that Minnesota? Or I think they used him a little bit, but it was like by that point, dude, you missed so many opportunities to use him when he was playing well. So. Yeah, I do. I want to get your thoughts on the Kelvin Shepard stuff. Kelvin Shepard spoke to the media. Let's play this clip. By the way, shout out to the DOC. He did ask the question. Let's just hear what he had to say about his scheme next season.
Kelvin, you haven't looked at it holistically, but when you look at the season with the challenges stopping the run, with a healthy defensive line, issues in the secondary at times, the explosive plays, why do you still believe that your scheme gives this team the best chance to win? And when you kind of look at yourself, is there room for potentially drastic changes to the defense next year?
No, I don't see drastic change. What I see and what I've learned in my first year on the job of calling defenses is something that me and Dan talk about every day. You start off the year, I'll be lying to you guys. Listen, I started off the year, I want to have top defense in this category, top this, top that, top that. And you get caught in these statistical things that means nothing if you're not winning football games. This league is about adaptability. And you can have a system all you want, but it's whatever dictates that week is necessary to win the football game. And that's predicated on a lot of different variables. You talk about the offense that you're facing. You talking about the personnel that's at your disposal that week. It's a lot of different variables. And my job has been, and I believe we have done as a defensive staff, week to week, what is it going to take to stop this offense? And more importantly, what is it going to take for us to play complementary football and win this football game? I believe we have a very versatile system here where we're able to adapt and adjust on the run. And I believe that not only myself, but my staff and these players have done a good job. Listen, the ball hasn't fell our way. I understand where we're at with 8 losses and out of playoff contention, but I'm not going to sit up here and say there needs to be a drastic change and this didn't work, that didn't work. There were weeks we played at a high level with the exact same system, and there was weeks that we didn't. And after this game, we'll go back and look at that in totality and find out the real whys behind that.
What is the
So I understand from Shep's perspective of, sometimes you don't want to get wrapped up in, we have to be this and this and this category, whatever. But can we agree that any coordinator, again, I've never been a coach in the NFL. Okay, I'm just talking to a microphone. I'm very open about that. But just being a fan, okay, and now I've covered the Lions for basically 5 years now, which isn't a long time when you look at other players or other people in the business. But from what I've gathered watching football, tell me if I'm off on this. If you're a defensive coordinator or an offensive coordinator, or you're a head coach that calls one side of the ball, you do want an identity, right? Like that is a goal for any offense or defense. Like you knew with Aaron Glenn, if I asked you what was Aaron Glenn's identity on defense when he was here, what would you say looking at some of the statistical categories and what they did? What would be Aaron Glenn's identity? Because
do you want me to be honest with you? Yeah. I don't know.
So what we knew when we talked about Aaron Glenn, tell me if I'm off on this. He wasn't the best DC, but we can at least say we knew Aaron Glenn, they were going to be a good scoring defense. They were always going to try and keep teams out of the end zone. Bend, don't break. They were always a good run defense. So at least you hang your hat on like a couple things.
Did you get any identity by the end of the season? Did you feel like there was an identity?
That's what I was going to say with Kelvin. There is not an identity.
With AG. I'm sorry. I thought you asked for Kelvin.
Yeah. With AG.
Yeah, with AG, I thought it was a tough. Their identity was play mean and turnovers and low scoring. Bend over. Yes. With Kelvin, nothing.
Zero. There's no
with
identity.
AG, you at least had an identity. With Kelvin, I thought you asked Kelvin's identity.
Yeah, no, you get what I was
saying. Not
saying.
AG's. Yeah, with Kelvin, there's nothing. I'm think about it. I go, I don't know. Jack Campbell.
Yeah. I don't know.
Jack Campbell's playing hard. That's about all I have.
Yeah. So say what you want about AG, but at least you knew we were going to be a good run defense. We're going to keep teams out of the end zone. There's things they gave up a ton of passing yards and all that. I get all that, but Kelvin, it's like they're not a great run defense. They give up a ton of passing yards. They let teams into the end zone. They give up big plays. With AG, you always thought they aren't going to give up a lot of big plays. They do everything bad.
If you don't have an identity, I think by the end of your first season, in your defense, that's a problem.
That's a problem, dude.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
Maybe your system isn't working. Maybe you need to find an identity.
That's why it's tough. Like hearing what Kelvin Shepard had to say about that, like it's tough because he's like, hey, we're not going to change a lot of things. But then again, he's like, but we need to go and I don't know if you watched his whole interview today or yesterday. He was like, but I'm going to go in and look at, every little thing when it's called, big plays given up, run defense, he's like, I'm going to take a look at everything. But then at the same time, you're saying you're not going to change anything, but you're going to look at it all. I don't know. It's a weird concept to me. And you know what? Like, I think I'm in a pretty good spot in how I feel about this defensive coordinator position.
Yeah, and by the way, Coach Walk is correct. Injuries do not help. Okay, but
AG had injuries too, and you could argue AG had more and worse injuries with some of the D line and some of the secondary that AG had out, and they just found a way, man. They found it. You regressed in almost every single category besides maybe one or two.
Like, you know what? Like, look at the 49ers right now. The 49ers are they're injured everywhere. But you know what the 49ers rank in rush yards a game? 6th. They're a good rushing.
What are we?
They're-
16th,
Yeah,
15th.
but like the 49ers are not great. They're 13th.
We were
in scoring
second or
defense.
first
They're
last
hanging in
year.
there. The 49ers are injured everywhere, but at least they're good against the run. I'll bring up the Bears. Like the Bears aren't great defensively, but guess what? They get turnovers. You kind of know with some defenses or whatever. The Lions, it's like, okay, yeah, you missed a Kirby and Bryant. I get that. But even with Bryant, they didn't never. I mean, what did they do? They were giving up big plays with Brian Branch. I mean, I don't know. It's and our front seven's entirely healthy too. Steve Wilds.
Yeah, to me, there's just no excuse. And you know one thing, and again, as a person and as a motivator, I like Shep. I want him to be successful.
He speaks so well.
He does, but the one thing I don't like as well, and like in today's, he like, I don't know, I don't want to say there's a lack of accountability. I don't know if that's fully what it is, but it's just like, I just want to hear, just be like, we were bad. Like, we just did not play. Like, I'm not going to change anything. There were some good moments. No, you guys were just bad defensively at moment. Like, that's just on us. Like, we need to be better. Like, that's what I want to hear. And maybe I'm asking for too much. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know if you get that sense when you listen to these,
I mean, that's,
but I just feel just say it. Like, in my
it
opinion.
reminded me of John Morton, even though he wasn't completely wrong. I mean, John Morton was really like, he wasn't wrong when he brought up the O-line, but I remember John Morton was like, it's the O-line. I mean, we're calling plays.
Yeah.
They're not blocking. It's like, okay, dude.
As a coach, it's like Dan taking accountability when the defense is bad. He's like, that's on me. I need them to, like, it's like, if I'm Shep, I'm just going to be like, hey, we were bad this year. Like, hey, that's all on me. I will be better this offseason. But instead, there is kind of I don't want to say excuses, but there's but it's like, dude, like, don't think anyone cares. It's more so like, you were just bad. Like, please just say it. Let's like, I'm going to make some changes.
It's like you're tiptoeing around it. It's like, well, we're not going to make drastic changes, but we'll look back and see what went wrong and find out why we weren't.
I didn't think we were actually that bad in moments. Like,
or he kept emphasizing we have players at the point of attack. We have players at the point of attack. Like, basically insinuating that the players just aren't making plays. Like, that's what he's saying. We have players at the point of attack. It's like, dude, well, apparently everyone just forgot how to make a play at the point of attack this year. Everybody just forgot. Every single player forgot how to make a play at the point of attack. I mean, I don't know.
And Mag in the chat said accountability doesn't win games. Taking accountability helps fix things to win games. Like, that's a fact. Like, if there's something bad within your defense and you refuse to take accountability, and you're just like, it's like the thing with the run defense a couple weeks ago, Jeff. Like, where Shep just continued to not take accountability about the run defense, push back against reporters. And then guess what happens? The next 2 weeks, they get absolutely gashed. It was like that, dude. It was like the biggest. I think that was one of the biggest things of karma of all time in the media that I've seen. Like, these guys all in the media ask him, like, hey, you got gashed in this game. He's like, no, we didn't. And then the next two games, like the Steelers game, they give up like 200, and he doesn't have to do a press conference.
He avoided that one. By the way, before we move on here, get back. Appreciate the 5. Love the show, fellas. My bad. There's a starting guard at Ole Miss, Trinidad in the second round. I don't know, just a suggestion. Not a bad suggestion. We'll thank you for the $5, my friend, and we'll be covering the draft. So I'm sure his name will come up at some point. But we appreciate you. But you guys know what time it is. That means the man himself, which, we feel like we haven't talked to Caleb in a decade.
Yeah.
Even though it's been like, hasn't been that long.
We're supposed to see him on New Year's Eve, by the way. And
look at him say, look at him. Caleb,
Caleb, what's up, brother?
Gentlemen, what's going on? This is my favorite part of the week to be able to talk to you fellas. How we doing?
Hey, we're doing well. For people who don't know, we went out, we invited the crew to go out. We went in Rochester to go out to the crew for New Year's Eve. We had a place, we had tickets, everything. Yeah, Caleb says, hey boys, I'm going to Chili's instead. I've never heard someone be like, I'm going to Chili's to get the triple dipper on New Year's Eve. Like, triple dipper's great. On New Year's Eve, it's like, what a move.
No,
I don't know if I respect it, or I don't know if I like him. Like, that's insane.
You should respect it. I went to two places that aren't very common on New Year's Eve. So I went to Chili's with my family. Didn't get to spend, Lions play Christmas, Thanksgiving. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to spend New Year's with the fam. So we went to Chili's, got the triple dipper, got a beer. So it was phenomenal. And then I saw one of my friends at Chili's who was also there, and picked us up, went to another sports bar and, had some beers. So yeah, it was a successful New Year's Eve, and I got.
It's funny who you saw at Chili's too. I mean, that's
well, I went with him. I was originally with him. The person you're talking about, we were with his family as well. So, but yeah, that's a great way to end the year as a triple dipper.
Yeah, that's a hell of a way to end the year.
So when the ball dropped, where were you? Were you at Chili's?
No, but I wish I stayed.
Like you had like the cheese pull, at midnight, like.
I should have stayed. I should have stayed at Chili's until midnight. God, that would have been awesome. I don't know why I didn't think of that.
An opportunity to stay at Chili's till midnight.
I did. That's a great way to start 2026.
Hey, so tomorrow, before we get into, because I do want to pick your brain on some things. Tomorrow, Flannel Sam.
We got Flannel Sam. Flannel Sam is he's gonna co-host with me and Gentry. He's gonna start at 9 a.m. with us. We're gonna talk some Pistons. And then we got a NFL award show I'm going to do, and we have another special guest for that. So make sure to tune in. 9
Who's that?
It's a special guest.
Can we get a hint for the people to really like? Is there something that we're really?
He has his own award.
Oh,
he has his own award.
That's a great hint. That's a great hint.
So yeah, looking forward to it. It's going to be a good one.
9 a.m.
Are there actually trophies that are going to get handed out?
I could get those made up, maybe.
So
I don't know how
this award show. It's not going to be like you each pick your own. One player is gonna, or one player or team is gonna win each award. Correct.
I think
you guys should vote on it. I think you should.
You know what? Maybe I'll do that. Maybe if I could get in contact with all the people, maybe I could do not contestants. What's the word? Nominees.
Yeah, it's like congrats to like Jack Campbell for winning the Luke Kuechly Linebacker of the Year award.
Congratulations to Jack Campbell for winning the Jack Campbell award.
Yeah. Can I just have a Booner award? Booner of the Year?
Yes. You know what?
I'll record a video and send it in for the winner.
That's going to get added. The Booner award.
I'll give you the nominees. I'll give you the nominees, and then I'll give you the winner.
All right, let's do that. What do you need?
Yeah, what is that?
It's just you're a dog and you play hard and you're just you represent well.
Sure. We'll do it.
Yeah. So it's like a man of the year, but like Booner of the year.
For Booner, yeah. So essentially you're man of the year, the Walter Payton man of the year. It's the Booner man of the year award. I like that. Booner man of the year award.
It has a ring to it.
I'll have my nominees by tonight. And you know what? I'm going to hit a couple people up and get a guest person to say the winner.
Wow. The BOTY. Booner of the year.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Booner of the Year award. Wow, it's like a Walter Payton.
By the way, shout out Riley. He says, "What's up, everybody? Have been watching this channel a lot lately. Great content. We appreciate you, Riley."
Thank you, Riley.
Riley.
We appreciate you. Thank you for that.
Caleb, I would like to make an adjustment to the award. It's not the Booner of the Year award. It's the Booner Man of the Year award.
Okay, the BMOTY.
Yeah. What do you think about what's going on this week, Caleb? I haven't gotten your thoughts on it. Just you had Kelvin Shepard speak to the media. You had Dan Campbell say change is coming. Where are you at with just like the coordinator conversation, just in general? Lions and Dan Campbell kind of hinting at it, but not kind of being non-committal to his coordinators. Where are you at?
I'm kind of lockstep with you guys with the whole Kelvin Shepard thing. I feel like it's you can't develop coordinators when you're in a Super Bowl window. That's something you just can't do. So like you said, like Dan Campbell was non-committal. He usually, when Dan Campbell speaks, it's usually, Shep's my guy, or rocking with Shep. It wasn't necessarily like that. He kind of left it open-ended in a sense, a little cliffhanger, I guess, which you don't see usually from Dan. But look, like you guys said, Kelvin Shepard is really good at speaking to the media. I think he did a nice job considering everything that happened this year, the absolute meltdown that happened this year defensively, especially towards the end of the season. But kind of like you guys, I'm right there. I think you got to go get someone who's proven they can coordinate a defense and a successful defense.
Any names you're looking at, Caleb? Any names you like from other teams? Brian Flores doesn't have an extension yet. I know it's slim to none, but
yeah, but isn't Brian? And now correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't Brian Flores? Didn't he aren't the Lions like one of the teams he sued when all that stuff went down? Am I wrong about that?
I do not know. That sounds like one of those things we should say allegedly.
Allegedly. I
never hear the word sued.
Because that was the name I thought of too, is Brian Flores. Because his contract is up, but I think there was some things that went on with him in the Lions when he got fired from Miami, and there were some coaching vacancies when he probably should have got a head coaching job. And they didn't give it to him. We gave it to Dan Campbell instead. But
well, how about this? It's okay. It's fine. As long as he's cool with it. It's okay that you sued the Lions. It's fine. You can come here.
Yeah. No. If Brian Flores wants to be the Detroit Lions defensive coordinator.
Well, J. Hart says we wasn't on that list, Caleb. Ooh.
Okay, sure. Then bring him home. Bring him home. I don't know if he'd do it.
The fact that he's still like he's about to be a free agent is insane. That the Vikings. Honestly, I just think, like, in my opinion, I think the reason he hasn't signed an extension, I think he wants to be a head coach.
I think so too.
I think he wants to interview for head coaching jobs.
He doesn't want to. I mean, let's be real here. Taking shots, but like. Minnesota, like, that's not a big market. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't want, he's too good. He like, I'm sure Dallas is going to reach out. Like, Dallas is a much bigger market. Detroit, even if Detroit's not like a massive, bigger than Minnesota, I'll tell you that. It's bigger than Minnesota. You know,
yeah.
I'm sure if he's going to be a defensive coordinator, it'll probably be with it'll be for a better team in a bigger market, getting paid more money. You're going to stay in Minnesota, man. Like, come on.
It has to be someone that has done it before. It can't just be another guy in our building right now. It has to be someone that's done it before. Look, we brought it up, but I mean, me and you kind of talked about it the other day. Aaron Glenn.
No,
no. You're out on it?
We talked about it. The extent of us talking, you say, "Hey, can you send a picture?" I said, "Are you doing this?" The reason I text that back was because Jeff and I brought that up last week on the show, and me and Jeff both were like, "Yeah, probably not." Like, he's like, I brought up, I said, I think he's going to end up getting fired, and I just want to get the gauge on Lions fan base with that. It feels like a Glenn is like you're basically, it's not like you had a good defense last year, but it's still like you probably can go out and get better.
Yeah, or I see in the chat, if depending on what happens with the Bucs, Todd Bowles would be nice.
I think Todd Bowles should be at the top of the list, to be honest. That was one of the people we've talked about. I think that's a big one. I think Todd Bowles is
Raheem Morris has had good defenses. I know people are kind of iffy. I know, I get it. Jonathan Gannon's high up there for me too. He's a great defensive guy.
Yeah.
He's good with the Eagles. He knows defense. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of things that are interesting. I don't know what you think about the some of the players that are departing. And you see Taylor Decker speak. He might be retiring.
I did not see him speak. I did not see what he said. But
he sounded like, what was it, Boone? He sounded kind of like,
he just was like, they asked him about it. He said, this is the first time in my career I'm really going to consider retiring. He was like, he straight up was like, when the season's over, I will. He was like, I have to give everything I have this week, but when the season's done after this week, he was like, I'm going to have some conversations and thoughts. And he was like, retirement is on the table. He was just straight up about it, which I do respect. Like, he was just like honest and said, yeah, I'm going to think about it.
He's at that age, man. They have Manu, Caleb. They got Manu.
We're good. No. We're not doing that. No. I think no matter what was going to happen,
Jeff's going to the end on that one.
I think Taylor Decker was going to consider retirement. I just think that's something that we had to, coming into the season, that Brad Holmes probably already knew. So yeah, you got to.
What the hell are you doing, then, Caleb? You're Brad Holmes. Caleb Czarnik? Congratulations, you're the GM of the Lions. What the hell are you doing this offseason? How are you approaching it?
Well, first of all, I am handing a blank check to Lindenbaum from Baltimore.
Yeah.
If they don't re-sign him for some reason, if they don't re-sign Lindenbaum, I'm giving him a blank check to be the center of the Detroit Lions next year. And then this tackle class, it's really good. I really like a lot of tackles in this class. You go tackle in the first round, and you just kind of use the money you have for all these other positions you need to address, like safety. You have injuries there with Brian Branch, who knows.
Probably linebacker. Anzalone could be out too.
Yeah, you need an off ball. You need a coverage linebacker. That's another thing. Brad Holmes. Look, I don't want to be Brad Holmes right now, Jeff. So I don't want to be the general manager. Brad Holmes has a tough job. This is going to be crazy offseason for the Lions. A lot of positions to address. But first thing I'm doing is giving all the money I have in the world to Tyler Lindenbaum to be the center. I don't know how a deal hasn't got done in Baltimore yet.
Let's think about this though, right? What were you gonna say?
I just think easy way to do it. Hey, next week, player meetings. I'm sitting down right now. Guess what? Hey, Caleb, be Taylor Decker for me real quick. I'm Brad Holmes. Hey, Taylor, how you doing?
Not so great. We didn't make the playoffs and we stink.
Heard you're considering retirement, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to tell you this. We're either going to cut you or you can retire. Pick one.
Okay, no, you don't do that. You don't.
No. You're going to answer. You're Taylor Decker. You're Taylor Decker. Answer. Which one?
I think that's unfair. I've done a lot for this franchise. I've been here.
Well,
since
I'll
the
tell you
beginning.
what. You have a $15 to $20 million cap hit. We're going to pay $20 million to Tyler Linderbaum to go get a center. We're going to draft a right tackle. This is the direction. We love everything you've given to us. You're one of the best Detroit Lions we've had. Lifetime guy. We'll do anything that you need. This is the direction we're going to go. I wish it would work differently, but we need to go win a Super Bowl next year. This is the move we're making.
You're an asshole.
Okay, cool. We're going to win a Super Bowl without you.
Okay, look, hey, I'm not.
Well, now they're beefing.
Yeah,
now they're beefing.
But at the end of the day,
I know, and I said it, Boone. They got to stop.
That's how you have to do it. Like, obviously, you don't have to be in a mean or bad way, but it's like, hey, if you want to get Lindenbaum from the Ravens or whatever, like I don't know how to say his name, but if you want to get Lindenbaum, you have to let go of Taylor Decker. You don't have a choice. Like you have to go out there and you get like that money. That's 15 plus million. He's going to cost 20. You have to pay Jack Campbell. You have to pay you have to go make. Sorry. Like, we're going to draft a right tackle. We're moving Pineda to left. We're going to draft in the first round one of the best tackles in the draft. Just like Josh Simmons started for the Chiefs this year, we're going to go find our Josh Simmons for next year. Because I trust, Jeff, I know you said we have a rookie starting to tackle. If you draft a first-round rookie, like one of those guys out of Utah, they can start on a Super Bowl team year one. Like, those guys are good enough. And as long as they're not left, obviously. But you move Pineda and you make that move, boom. Now you have Tate Ratledge, Lindenbaum, Penei, and you have a first-round rookie tackle, and then you figure out left guard if you want that to be Miles Frazier or Christian Mahogany, and you go from there. But like, I think that's like if you want to actually make a real move to turn this offensive line over in a night, that's the move you make. That's how you do it.
I agree. Now, let me ask this real quick. I know you guys probably talked about it a little bit, but I didn't catch it. Why are we playing the starters? It only makes sense as just like looking forward.
Who plays if they don't?
You try guys out. You see who's going to be on the roster next year. Why are you trying to win this game?
Like we're like a pee-wee football team.
Dude, the only reason that would benefit the Lions for winning this game is so you have something over Ben Johnson, like, oh, you didn't beat us one time this year. That's the only thing.
Do you have any sort of pride?
Schedule.
Do you have any sort of pride?
Booner, we're 8-8 right now. My pride is out the window. Well, the playoffs are over. I want a better draft pick. I want to play shitty teams next year.
Give me my pride. I'll go out there and play football.
No, Caleb, me and Boone talked about this. We were on different sides. I'm more of a. I'm not playing Jared Goff 50+ million in a meaningless game. I'm just not.
No,
But
you got to put these guys on ice. Look, and I hate to say it. Look what happened with Brian. He's out. Brian Branch is out a majority of the year next year. What if that happens to Amon-Ra St. Brown? What if that happens to another guy like that?
Booner would be he would be so mad.
Like,
I did tell Jeff, I said if Jared got hurt, I would change my.
I understand how Dan Campbell. I understand how Dan Campbell rolls. Like, yeah, he wants to go out there and win. I like week in and week out. He always wants to be competitive. But it's the smart thing to do. You shouldn't be playing your guys this week.
Can I talk just to myself real quick?
Yes, I'll be Taylor Decker.
I want to talk to myself. You don't get to choose when you have grit and when you don't. It's either you have it or you don't. It's either you have it or you don't. You don't get to pick and choose when you have grit and when you don't.
Hey,
you don't.
What if I told
you don't get to pick and choose.
What if I told
you live it or you don't? If you like Dan Campbell's grit when they're winning, you should like it when they're losing.
What if I tell you this, Boone? What 3 things that I'm interested in? You don't have to be interested in, but I think I'm interested in. Maybe Caleb, you're interested in. I'll give you a higher draft pick. Okay. I'll give you an easier schedule next year, and I'll give you players with winning injury. You in?
I want to ask.
Awesome.
I want to ask you guys a very specific question right here, and I know how it's going to answer it, so be careful because I will go do my research and I will go find the facts, and I will destroy both of you. Answer this question very, very, very smartly.
Okay.
2 years ago or 3 years ago in 2022, when the Detroit Lions were going into Week 18 versus the Green Bay Packers, they were hold on.
Okay.
Listen to this very carefully, Jeff, and answer this very, very carefully. When they found out that they were out of the playoffs and they had all of their stars playing football and they were playing just to knock the Packers out, did you guys have the same thought process? Well, what if we lost Jared Goff for next year? What if we lost Diamond Rod for next year? What if we lost Panay for next year? I could go back and I can find Jeff all your morning shows. You're probably happy.
No, I think that it was different though, because at the time
they were out of the playoffs like 30 minutes before.
They were building a culture. They're trying to build a culture. They like right now,
and they're 8-8. They need to get this culture back on. They need to get this culture back on. Are you acting like it's 8-8 a good culture for you two? You guys like 8-8 culture?
No, I think that was a completely different.
No, it wasn't. Sorry for yelling, but no, it wasn't.
That was a completely different situation, in my opinion, because number one, you had the opportunity to kick Aaron Rodgers out of the playoffs, a guy who has terrorized your franchise for a million years before that. And like Jeff said, you're trying to build a culture. You're trying to build momentum going into the offseason. You were one game away from making the playoffs, and you won, 7 out of your last 8 games? You wanted to give something to give you wanted to give something your fans to be excited about.
But what happens?
If they win this game, I wouldn't give less. I would be pissed, kinda.
Caleb, same thing goes. What happens if Jared Goff got hurt in that game and it meant nothing?
It's still a massive risk either way.
It is. Yes, it's a massive risk.
Yeah. So you wanted them then, and now you want them now.
Well, there's literally zero reason right now.
There's zero reason then.
We just gave you reasons.
That was not a good reason.
To you.
The reason you literally just gave me is the reason I'm giving for this Sunday.
They lost 3.
You just gave no. Do you see how that's back? You know what? Backwards?
No, it's not.
I'm literally giving you the reason for the reason you just gave for 2022. The culture to build for next year.
I think me and Caleb are. From different. You don't. See
Caleb and you just told me that the reason a couple years ago they did it was because they're building a culture and the culture.
Year 2 of regime.
But I don't care. I said that this year they need to get their culture back on track, and that's the reason why they're playing on Sunday.
So a win in week 18, their culture's back.
No, but you can at least have a little hope going into the offseason if they win.
It doesn't change. Boone,
no, it doesn't. It doesn't change anything.
Jared literally said that's why he's playing. Jared literally, word for word, said the reason I'm playing is because I want to go out there and prove all of you.
What does he say?
He doesn't have to play. If he asked to sit out, they would let him sit out.
He would never. You know he would.
And no, Dan Campbell would. Dan Campbell said it. If you can play, you're playing.
Then why isn't Panay playing? Panay,
he's been banged up all year.
Caleb, if they were playing for the playoffs tomorrow or on Sunday, Panay would be playing on Sunday. He could play. If he could play, he would stop.
Yeah, okay, probably
stop while you're ahead.
True. But didn't he get hurt? Didn't he get dinged up last week too?
He's been dinged up all year. If he could, if they were playing for the playoffs, he would be playing on Sunday.
No, that's a different. I'm saying even if you're not banged up, just don't get hurt. I'd rather rest you. Honestly,
that's on you, man. I think it's more so just, hey man, let's get some good momentum going into this offseason. Let's not lose 4 straight going into this offseason. Or 5 or whatever it is.
So will your tone change about the 2025 Lions if they beat the Bears in week 18?
No, I'll just be like, if I see some good things out of some guys, I'm gonna be like, yep, boys are back.
Out of Amon-Ra, like players we already know that are good.
Yeah, bro. If Jared goes out there and balls out, I'll be like, hey, sit down. Look what he did in week 18.
Yeah, but I know people are gonna.
And to be honest, I want Jared to go out there and put up his career highs. He can go out there and get some career highs on Sunday.
And now all of a sudden, it shuts the haters down. Like they're still
100%. Yeah,
they're still
can't blame Jared.
All right, we got to get to pick them. We got NFL pick them.
Yeah, I don't even know what the record is. I have 13 games here. I don't know what. This is the worst week of football of all time, dude.
It's so bad.
We need the records because Caleb was just hot.
Oh, come on, Boone.
It's okay. We'll get him at some point. But I'm curious to see.
Well, this is the final one. This is the final one. So I'll give you guys a choice. I have 13 games here. I've left a couple games out. Usually we do 10. Do you guys want to do all 13? Do you guys want to do every single game?
No, dude, I would say 10 games. There's probably 3 good games.
So if I say a game, and you guys don't like it, just tell me, put it, scratch it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
We'll take a vote. Yeah, take a vote on it.
First game. First 2 games are locks. You guys don't have a say in them. I'm locking them in. Saturday. Both of these games essentially for the division. Carolina Panthers are on the road versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'll say this. The winner doesn't actually win the division. Carolina wins, they win it. If Tampa wins, I believe they need the Saints to win the division versus the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday. So there's a little bit of a thing there, but the Bucks are 3-point favorites at home. What are you boys taking?
Who's first?
Jeff.
Are you sure about that?
I don't know, dude.
No, you're still in the lead.
I went first last time.
Correct me if I'm wrong. As we've gotten closer to the end, Booner, we kind of threw out the whole if you're first, you go first, because now you don't want to go first.
Well, hold on. Booner, is
that
this
not
the last
cheating?
one, though? Is
This
this
is
the last one? We got
one.
playoff football.
Oh, we do have playoff football, yeah.
So, not the
So
last
Jeff,
one.
we were tied last time, and I went first because you were like, I always go first.
But I
So
don't think we're tied anymore.
it's every
I think
other.
we didn't do the record.
we don't know what happened last week.
So
You
now
might have had a better.
We're changing it late in the season to
What if you had a better week than me, though?
This is why he doesn't do the records. Now I
just generally we didn't do pick 'em last week. We didn't even do pick 'em last week.
True.
The commissioner might have fraud. This might be like
Communism.
There's no fraud. It's all legit.
Who's the mayor of Detroit that one time?
Kwame Kilpatrick.
This is Kwame Kilpatrick. You're literally Kwame Kilpatrick.
No way. This guy just called me Kwame Kilpatrick, bro.
All right, Kwame,
You're
let's go.
literally Kwame.
All right, I'll
Okay,
go first.
I'll go first. It's
No,
fine.
give me the Bucks -3.
Kwame goes first. No, I'm kidding. I'm with you. I was gonna pick the Bucks.
Of course you are. That's why you wanted me to go
It doesn't
first, so you
really
could
matter.
just
I'm going-
follow everything I do. You follower.
That's how
You
he gets.
follower.
That's how he gets me. No, I'm going with the Bucks. I just can't see the Bucks. The Bucks have been playing so bad.
Of course you
see them
can't.
losing the spot. I can't. I
Actually, I'm going Carolina.
Let me check what Carolina did last week. Let's see. Oh, they lost by 17. Give me Carolina. Give me Carolina +3. I think they're a better team than Tampa. I don't think Tampa's very good.
I think
Maybe
Tampa's
Carolina
just trying to.
+3.
All right, next game: Seattle Seahawks -2.5. This is for the division. This is for the 1 seed. The Seahawks are 2.5-point favorites on the road versus the 49ers. This is going to sound crazy because I've been all over Seattle all year, but I think the 49ers, they just find a way to win big games. They just keep winning. I don't know how. They're down half of their players, and they just find ways. Those are the most dangerous teams, in my opinion. Give me the 49ers, I think. And also, I did say that the 49ers would win this division. I called it at the beginning of the season, so I'll stick to my guns with this one, and I'll roll with the squad that I said will win that division. I'll take the 49ers to win it.
This is in Seattle.
In San Francisco.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the 49ers as well.
Of course.
Fits my narrative. You're tailing my narrative. Darnold folding in big games.
No, you're telling mine because I had the 49ers winning the division.
I had the 49ers win the division as well.
Who convinced you to switch your pick?
I picked them.
No, you did not. I convinced you fully and you switched. You said literally the other day, I had a clip of it. I'll go back and clip it. You said the other day, you're like, you actually convinced me to switch.
No, I can't have a pick because you convinced me. You see how butthurt he is? He's going first. This is what happens. He's all mad. Hey, by the way, I thought that's your guy, Darnold. Why are you going against him?
I'm a 49ers guy this year. I called them to win the division.
All right.
Give me the Niners -2.5.
Yeah.
+2.5.
The Niners aren't favored in that game.
No, Seahawks are.
Give me Seattle then. Give me Seattle -2.5. You
All
like
right,
that?
next
You like
game.
that, Jeff?
The Saints, New Orleans Saints. This one has to affect again. This one affects the Carolina Tampa game. The Saints are on the road versus Atlanta Falcons. Falcons are 3-point favorites. I'm just going to say, give me New Orleans. Give me Tyler Shuck.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Falcons. They're coming off a big win to the Rams. I think they're playing a little bit of juice right now. So give me the Falcons in this spot.
Yeah, I like the Saints a lot. I bet on them a lot this year. But I like the Falcons in this spot. Like you said, they just had a big win against the Rams. I think they're building some sort of momentum just at the wrong time because their season is ending. Give me the Falcons.
Next game. This starts to get into a point here where we can veto games. Green Bay is on the road versus the Minnesota Vikings, 8.5-point favorites.
No, that one's a flop.
Yeah, that's not because
You guys are out on that?
you're gonna have Clayton Tune starting for the Packers.
No, I think it's Desmond Ridder.
Yeah, just scratch.
So
that
no,
one.
you guys are out. Okay.
Yeah.
What about this one? This is a double-digit dog. The Colts are on the road versus the Houston
Oh,
Texans.
never mind. I'm thinking of the wrong game.
That could be a good one because it's kind of like
Texans are 10.5-point favorites. I don't know who the quarterback is of the Colts, so is the issue.
It's probably going to be like Sam Ellinger.
Phillip Rivers got benched.
Or not Sam Ellinger. It'd be the other guy.
No, let's
Riley
play this
Leonard.
one.
Riley
Leonard. You go first then, Caleb. Go ahead.
Is Houston playing their starters?
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, no, because the Jags are winning games, right? Oh no, because I don't know if they might have locked in that.
I don't think they did. I think there's still a chance for the Texans.
All right, then I'll take the Texans. I won't waste time.
I'll do the same if that's the case.
Yeah, I'm gonna lay the 10. Give me the Texans.
Next game, no Justin Herbert, but the Chargers are 13.5-point underdogs versus the Broncos.
This is the game I was saying I think we should get rid of, because I don't think the Chargers playing anybody.
Yeah, they're not.
We'll get rid of that one. Next, what about this one? Another double-digit dog. The Dolphins are 11.5-point underdogs versus the Patriots.
Would anyone pick the Dolphins in this?
Yes, I am. I'm going to take the Dolphins in this. I'm going to take the Dolphins plus.
I don't hate it because I feel like it's what's his name, Quinn Ewers. Dolphins have played. If you've looked at their last like 7-8 weeks, I can pull it up real quick. Caleb, am I wrong? The Dolphins have played some teams close. Like
they have, and they're 7-9.
They beat the Bucs last week.
5-game winning streak.
Yeah, they lost to the Steelers by 13. They did get blown out by the Bengals, but they beat the Jets. They beat the Saints. They beat the Commanders. They beat the Bills. They might play this team pretty close.
Give me the Dolphins plus 11.5. I'm
going to do the same thing. Jeff, I'll give you the Patriots.
Now you just talked me into it.
No, you got to stay with the Patriots.
I never said anything. I just said, is anyone taking the Dolphins? I was asking. You guys talked me into it. Hell of a pitch.
There's no point of us taking that game now because we're all on the same thing.
Mm.
It's like a bonus game. We can maybe get an extra win or something, or a loss.
Yeah, just a record to look good.
Yeah.
The Commanders are on the road versus the Eagles, boys. Eagles are 3.5-point favorites. Who are we taking?
Damn.
I got who's playing?
Yeah, that's a weird line. Why are they? Is Tanner McKee starting? I mean, who's? You said Eagles Commanders?
Yeah.
And they're a 3.5-point favorite.
Yep.
Wow.
Lane Johnson out, Jalen Phillips out, Jalen Carter out, Nakobe Dean out.
Yeah.
This is a weird game. Is Jalen Hurts playing? I'm confused.
We vote this one out? This sucks. This game sucks.
All right, what about this one? Arizona versus the Rams, 8.5-point favorites.
Okay, that's a good one. We'll keep that one.
All right, go ahead. You can hit this one then.
I think I'm assuming that Matthew and the starters play. I think they have something to play for. So, give me the Rams. Coming off
8.5.
Yeah, give me the Rams.
LAR for Jeff. I'm gonna probably take the Rams too. I think they're still playing for seeding, and I think they're actually in a spot to where I think if they win and get a better seeding, I could be wrong. I thought I heard something like this to where they could go to like Tampa or Carolina instead. But if they lose, they end up going to either like Chicago or Philly, which is tough.
Yeah,
so
seeding
so my guess is they really want to win this game. And I think Matthew Stafford wants to try and get back in this MVP race tomorrow, Ryan Sunday.
Yeah, give me the Rams as well. They've played a couple tough games these past couple weeks. I think they're going to try to find some momentum heading into the playoffs. I think they're going to beat up on the Cardinals. The Cardinals are a feisty team. They're a hard team to bet against. Even though they're not very good, they just cover spreads. But give me the Rams in this spot.
I don't know if you guys want to do this one. I don't know who's in and out of this game. It's just hard to do pick 'em with players, not knowing if players are in or out. But the Bills are 7.5-point favorites versus the Jets in Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm not betting anything. I'm betting against the Jets every time.
Yeah, I would take the Bills.
Okay, we'll all take the Bills, so we'll move that one.
He's playing. I don't really care.
What about Dallas at New York? The Giants.
What's that?
3.5-point favorites. The Dallas Cowboys are.
It's another weird one.
At home?
In New York.
3.5-point favorites. I'm gonna go Cowboys because last time they played, they scored like 40, and Russell put up 40. but I don't think this Giants team is putting up a bunch of points. I just don't. So give me the Cowboys here.
I'm gonna go the Giants.
I think I'm going to go the Giants as well. Last game of the year, you might see they have a lot of players, young players, that they want to see play well, and I think they will. Give me the Giants.
That's the one where we just bamboozled Jeff, and we're gonna get the win. He's gonna take a loss, and he's gonna look.
No,
back why did I go first in that one?
Everyone's out, unless everyone.
Well, I mean, you got to think. Like, I think right now, my opinion with the Cowboys this week is like their defense is like, I don't know if they're depleted, but like they just had this whole week had that blowout with Diggs, where they had that whole situation, and there's been the Eberflus situation with Jerry Jones. There's been a lot going.
Eberflus legacy game, coaching for his
I don't
job.
know. I don't know. I don't know how bad Eberflus has been, but I just think Jerry Jones just hates Eberflus. So, do you guys want to do Browns versus the Bengals? Bengals are 7.5 point favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
I'm gonna.
Caleb must love a pick here.
I don't. But let's play it.
I'm gonna take Does anyone else want to throw a pick out there? I have no clue.
Jeff?
I don't know.
Jeff, just take your boy. Just take Shedeur. Take your boy.
What was the spread?
7.5. I want to see what they did last week.
The Browns they played the Bills close. So I'm not saying that, like, I think the Browns defense can always keep you in a game. I think they'll keep them in a game. I think the last time they played the Bengals only won by like a touchdown or so. I think I think because we did this game before, we all picked the Bengals and we were wrong. Or maybe you picked the Browns, right?
That was Joe Flacco though, wasn't it? Or no? Was that? Oh no, that was Joe Burrow.
What was the score of that game?
I'm gonna go Bengals.
What was the score of that game, Boone?
17-16. I'm gonna go Bengals.
7.5. I mean, I'd probably take the Browns if it was like 9.5, 7.5. It's only I'll take the Bengals here. I don't love it, but
I already wrote you down for the Browns too.
No, I just if it was a little higher, I would take the Browns.
Last game of the year for Shedeur, Jeff.
Yeah, but
Bengals have won back-to-back games by like 20. Bengals are like rolling.
Yeah,
right now.
bro, they're getting in they're cooking. They're cooking right now.
Give me the Browns and the points plus 7.5.
All right. And the last game here, this is for the division. This is for, I think winner goes home or loser goes home. I think whoever wins it wins the division. Whoever loses it will not make the playoffs. The Ravens are 3.5 point favorites over the Steelers. TJ Watt is back, by the way. I will give my pick first here, boys, so you guys don't have to worry about it. Give me Mike Tomlin to have another playoff season and another division win. I'm taking Mike Tomlin in this game, though. I know it's crazy because John Harbaugh, but Baltimore's they've had their ups and downs this year, but it feels like every time that they need a big game, I think Tyler Huntley's playing too. I don't know if Lamar's back. Every time they need a big game, they have folded. And you could say the same with the Steelers, but I feel like I would rather have the Steelers at home in this position to win the division. Those terrible towels will be flying.
Yeah, give me the Ravens. Take the Ravens in the spot.
Hey, Booner.
Yep.
What's that whole thing about Mike Tomlin as a home dog? What's that whole thing about that?
You do not go against Mike Tomlin.
You don't bet against Mike Tomlin when he's a home dog. Hey, if Lamar and the Ravens want to go into Pittsburgh and win that game, all the power to them. If they do that, hats off. If Derrick Henry wants to go 28 carries for 175 yards and 2 touchdowns, I'll tip my cap. But it's just not going to happen. Give me Pittsburgh plus 4.5. And I'm pretty sure that line is probably indicating that Lamar will play.
He is playing.
But playing. I still like it. I still like Pittsburgh plus 4.5. Mike Tomlin, home dog.
Yeah, you never go against it. I have a feeling about Pick'em this week. From the last thing that I know, Caleb was about 5 or 6 games back, or like 4 or 5. Jeff was like tied with me or 1 game back, one of the two. And then Caleb last week went like 8-2. I feel like we're in a moment with this week where me and Caleb have a lot of picks that are similar. And Jeff, there's a couple where you went off a little on your own. I think there's a world where we get into next week into the playoffs for Pick'em, and it's just Caleb and I fighting for it.
if Jeff comes in last, that McDonald's bet is back on. But
No,
if
the
I-
McDonald's bet's on no matter what.
No,
How-
it's
but how? But how?
I
is
could
that-
still get last. I was only
Yeah.
4 games ahead of you going into last week.
But how many
I'll
was I?
do it.
How many was I different though? There
Well,
was only- there's
I
only
don't
like-
know. Oh, for this one?
Yeah.
Well, Caleb's different for the Carolina Tampa game. Me and you are on the same. Caleb's also, wait a second,
Yeah, I'll
different
say
for the
Caleb's more different than I am.
49ers. Same here. Oh, are we the same here? No, I'm different there. Same.
It's literally one
Well-
game, dude. I think.
2. No, because you took Dallas. All right, it's 2 games. Sorry.
So Caleb's really the one that has.
I had a theory. My theory was proven wrong. We took the hypothesis, we tested it, and the hypothesis was wrong.
Yeah. I mean, it could be the opposite. It could be me and you, Booner.
We need to say right now if we're going to do the punishment, because I'm not going to do this thing where
The only
if
thing that
one of you
sucks
two are
is that
last, if one of
we
you two are
agreed.
last and I do the pun and you guys don't do it, but I'm last, and you guys are, oh, it's Booner,
No,
Booner will
we
do it.
agreed a while ago we weren't doing it because we came up with a punishment middle of the year when Caleb was last.
And he agreed to it then.
I don't even
No,
know if I did. I don't think I did.
No, he was like, I'm not
in
doing
to
that.
do it. Listen, I like
We
content.
have to have a punishment to start the year. That's how.
but like I've brought this punishment up for 2 months now.
Yeah, but we had talked about it when you were in first.
All right, I have an idea.
Okay.
You want my idea? I say we just make a poll in the chat and let the chat decide whether we do a
What do you
McDonald's
think they're
punishment or
gonna
not.
say, dude?
They could say no. Sometimes they side against me a
You
lot.
can't make a punishment in the middle, or actually at this point at the very
Dude,
end.
we could go back to the first week of Pick'em and I brought the punishment up and you guys were just so scared to say yeah. And then once I kept bringing it up, you're like,
No.
well, now we're halfway through the year.
No.
I'll go back to week 1 of Pick'em and clip me
Yeah.
saying the punishment.
Please do. I would like.
And if we do, the punishment sticks then.
No, that's not what
You
we're doing.
guys were just scared to say yeah. That's crazy. Anytime I bring up a punishment on this show, people are like, no, I'm scared to do it.
You're being a baby now. You're that's ridiculous.
I'm not
Every
being a
time you
baby.
bring up a punishment,
Yeah, okay, relax.
Every time you bring up a punishment, we hate it. No, Booner, we brought up the punishment middle of the freaking pick'em year. We can't.
I will go clip the punishment that I said that you have to stay in a McDonald's and you have to do that fantasy punishment.
Go clip
I-
when it was. Screenshot the date.
I did it week 1.
Okay,
week
go
1.
find that clip. I expect it later. I do.
And you guys just kept saying no.
I expect a week 1 clip later. And if I don't get it, I would assume it is not week.
Obviously, too, I want you to know the
You're
clip
being a
wasn't
crummy.
you guys agreeing on it. It was me bringing it up. So your fact of you being like, you brought it up halfway through the year or else we would have done it. So
No,
dead.
I never said. I said you brought it up and we were like, it's too late. I mean, we're not doing that.
No, I brought it up
last
week
by
1.
like 10 games or whatever.
I'm getting screwed.
I'm going to get it right now. I'm doing
getting
this right
screwed.
now. Well, should we
Yeah.
stay live for this? I will find
No,
this.
you're not staying live for it. But I want to see the clip.
And if we did the clip, punishment on.
No, we're not doing that.
Why not? Because then you're proven wrong. Because you don't want to do it. You're scared.
No,
It proves my
I-
point.
Okay, I'm scared. No, you're right.
100%.
Now, what do you say?
Yeah, no, you are. Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. I'm terrified. That's what.
Yes, you are.
Yep.
Yep.
You see how that didn't work out? It didn't work. Yeah, you
It
know what?
worked
You're right.
out. It worked out perfectly well.
I'm so scared.
Who did Lions play week 1? Packers.
Yes. That is.
See, Andrew said punishments need to be agreed upon season before the season starts. But
Okay.
Andrew, my problem is I brought up the punishments before we started pick 'em week 1, and they just kept saying no to every punishment because they didn't want to do a punishment.
Okay. No.
All right, Booner. If you find that clip, you could send it to us and we'll do it.
Okay, I'm gonna find it. I'm looking right now. 9-5 was that 9-5? Was that a Friday?
Probably.
Yep, that's the pick'em day. Oh, Booner, you dirty dog. All right, I got it. Well, we get on the show. I'm about to watch this and
Yeah, watch that and tell me of us talking about it. I would like to know that.
first pick'em day.
All right, we will see you guys on Sunday. We'll be at Dog and Pony Show Brewing. So Lions, Bears, we're live watching Jared Goff avoid getting injured. So that's what we're gonna watch. It'll be fun. So be there, coming out with us, tune into the watch party and the post game show. But until then, we will catch you all.
Love you guys so much. See you Sunday.
Peace.